don't stop. Brain 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 don't stop.
Hello, I'm
Brain don't
back.
stop.
The team is back.
We are so back.
We are so back. Welcome to Chewed Gum. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, and this is a show about rejecting purity culture, challenging misogyny, and the effects of religious trauma on women. I am Alyssa.
And
Hi.
I'm Taylor. Hello.
Hi. If you would like to call in, we do have lines that are that are open, and I just saw like one of the calls that's entering the queue, and it's very funny.
too.
You could call 720-619-2288 or the web link in the description. And as a reminder, super chats of $5 or more will be read at the end of the show. And that's it. Hi, how's it going? What's new?
Good. Someone said, and Taylor's still collecting Pokemon cards. I am, but I went on that beach trip. It was fun. The funniest part was the place we stayed in the backyard was literally a swamp, and like an alligator was just chilling, and it was really cool. I know.
Wait, where was this?
Florida, the Sanibel Island. And so I could,
Sanibel,
yeah. So I got to just like sit outside on this like screened-in porch and stare at this alligator chilling. It was pretty sick. And then I saw Obsession twice. Have you seen it yet?
I saw it last night, Taylor. Okay.
Yay!
I need you to understand that I also didn't know it was a horror movie.
What? Wait, what do you think it was? Like a kind of thriller type, but not like a straight horror. Okay.
Yes.
No, I kind of thought that too. I thought it was like, I don't know, not that. I don't know what I thought it was, but
Holy shit. That actress is going to be so famous because really
yes.
like the movie doesn't exist without her
She was
being
so
insane.
good. She was so good. And I liked seeing all of the like fresh faces and like new actors, new actresses. I was literally thinking earlier when I was thinking about coming on tonight, I was like, this would also be a good movie for Alyssa to talk about in a YouTube video in reference to like autonomy and like I don't know, the whole thing. I was just thinking so much about, you know, when he realizes it's not really her and he's still like having sex with her and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's funny because, thank you for that idea. It's funny because I saw the movie and was so like shell shocked because I think that's like one of the scariest movies I've seen in a while because she's
Mm-hmm.
so good at like her body, at like the way that she was moving her body. I will be
Yeah.
thinking about her walking across the room like this. She did it for 2 seconds, and I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. Um,
Yeah.
so I didn't, it took me like a second to get on board with like, okay, what's like the meaning of the whole thing? And we were in the car and Kevin was like, I mean, it's basically like a rape story in some ways. Like
Yeah.
it, and I was like, wait, yeah. And also it's not a spoiler. Like it, this is all in the preview. Like the kid makes a wish, this girl falls in love with him, she becomes obsessed. You trust me?
Mm-hmm.
I could verbally tell you scene by scene,
And
shot
you
for
would still be
shot,
shocked.
and you'd still be shocked and you'd still think it was crazy. Um, it was
Yeah.
it was awesome. And like the whole thing is you I remember in the movie thinking like, what did you do to this poor fucking girl? Like this is all your fault. This is all your fault. And
Yeah.
now like this person is liable for all of these horrible things that she's done, but it wasn't even her. It was
Yeah.
so
It was
crazy.
funny because my husband right away, when we're introduced to the guy, he's like, I hate this motherfucker. And I was like, why? And I literally was like, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, why? And
Yeah.
he was just like annoyed how I don't know. He just said the way he acted at the beginning was really annoying. And I was like, okay, fair. But then like the moment that I was like, oh, this guy's definitely, I mean, he was always the villain, but when he was like actually evil is when uh, you know what? Spoilers, guys. If you haven't seen it, maybe, I don't know, mute it. But I want to talk about this part where she is asleep, but she's
Oh.
like, hey, it's me. She's sleeping. And then he's like, what's so bad about being with me? I'm like, are you dead ass?
No, like, are
Like,
you the stupidest motherfucker alive?
like
Actually, yes, you
he's so
are.
selfish and gross because he knows that she's like suffering to the point of, wanting to be killed and like trying to
Yes.
kill herself. And then he is just like, what's so bad about being? I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so insufferable. You're so
Yes.
disgusting.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. It was so good though, and I highly recommend anyone go see it. I know we have like a lot of horror fans here, so
Yeah.
it was really good. And it was honestly, oh, I don't know if you know, the guy who wrote it is 26.
Yes. A YouTuber, right?
Yes, he had like
Hmm.
a $750,000 budget.
Yeah.
And that movie has already made $100 million. He has an
Yeah.
A24 contract, and I believe they are having him either direct or like be a part of an A24 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I did see that. And
Crazy.
the last the last horror movie I saw that was like from YouTubers was Talk to Me. Did you watch that one?
Oh, no, is that the one with the hand?
Yes, it's really good.
I
I
didn't
thought it
see
was
it.
really good. I mean, I had definitely thought Obsession was better, but also like this coming weekend I'm going to see Backrooms, which is also a YouTuber. I think the guy directing is like 20 years old.
Mm, yeah,
So,
it's
I'm
crazy.
excited.
I'm happy to see young creative people doing horror because it's such a
Yeah.
fun genre. And like, there's a part of it too where horror is so based on like what people are scared of in like culturally in the moment that it's
Yeah,
happening.
right.
And so like this movie really touches on like the incel culture, like wanting
Yeah.
someone to like to love you so much that you would strip the autonomy away from them.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it really is like of its time. So I'm
Yeah. It
so
really is.
excited to see like young people keep pushing for horror. And it's just like such a magical genre of film. And I totally understand why some people would be like, this is disturbing and I don't want to watch it. Like, period.
Right.
100% I understand. But like, if you can get past that and like really look at what you're watching in a like a critical thinking
Hmm.
lens, it is so
Yeah.
it runs so much deeper. It's so cool.
And I also think it's cool that platforms like YouTube give people an opportunity to
Hmm.
like get their foot in the door as
Yeah.
opposed to people who just have connections to people who are already, I guess, in the industry. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. Someone's also actually a few people are talking about Backrooms. I want to see Backrooms also.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
definitely seeing that next weekend, so I'm
yeah.
excited.
Um, oh, and someone also said
Sorry, I have
Terrifier.
something in my teeth.
Oh no, you're good. Someone is talking about Terrifier and says it's actually clever and in the way that it uses humor. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't fuck with the Terrifier movies. Actually, and to be fair, I've only seen the first one, but it was so graphic and I felt like we had no context as to why this person is being so horrible, primarily
Yeah,
to women. And so I was like, I don't know. It wasn't enough backstory for me to accept the level of violence that, you know,
right. Yeah. No, I
that
don't
you
even
see.
watch. I don't really like gore. I like horror movies, but if they ever do that, like I don't like I especially don't like body horror and stuff.
Mm,
That's not for me. But if the story's good enough, I'll tolerate some of it. Like I watched Substance because that was a really good horror
yeah.
movie, but I had to
Hmm.
look away a lot. And in Obsession, during that one scene, I looked away twice because I didn't want to see it. So like if the entire movie is mostly gore, I'm just not
Yeah.
interested. I'm not into it, but
Wait, I'm
yeah.
curious which scene you looked away from because there's a
The
few that
car.
I'm thinking of. Oh my God, the
Yeah.
car?
Yeah.
I have full body
Oh, wait,
chills.
and this isn't even gory, but the sandwich. I couldn't. I started gagging. I was like, I can't. So the second time I watched it with my friend because she wanted to see it together, I was excited to see it again, but I was like, I knew when that was coming. I just put up my hand. I was like, I can't
Yeah.
watch that again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fucking gross. Fucking gross. Anyway, yeah, so I loved that movie too. And I'm so glad that I saw it last night so we could talk about it today. And
Yeah, me
actually,
too.
I think I will make a YouTube video. We'll see if it is enough to like post on
Yeah.
Thursday. But oh my God, I got a tattoo while I was in New York. Look how cool it looks crooked when I hold because anytime I hold up my arm,
Whoa, that's
it's
so pretty.
isn't it cool?
Is it like a real
Oh my
specific
God.
building or not like
So I wanted, and I promise it is actually straight. It's just whenever I hold up my arm
no, it
like
looks
that,
straight to me.
it twists. It's not any specific building. I wanted a gothic window, and then there's a tattoo shop in New York City called Haven, and it's owned by two women who are married, and the whole shop is like specifically for the comfort, or it's built around the comfort of women and the LGBTQ
Oh,
community.
cool.
So it's like all pink and there's like snacks and sparkling water and like it's really, really
I love
cute.
that.
Yeah.
That's
And
a really fucking cool tattoo. I love it.
thanks. So
It's so
she had
cool.
posted, the tattoo artist had posted like some things that she drew that she wanted to tattoo. And I saw this and I was like, I wanted a gothic window. And this woman who
Hmm.
works at this place, I was like, this is a sign and I must go get it. And then I got the 555s because my wedding ceremony was 5 minutes and 55 seconds.
Oh, cute.
So I thought that
I
was
really
cute.
love it. It's badass.
Thanks.
I love it so much. She did a great job.
Thanks. Thanks.
Had you been there
This
before?
No, but one of my friends went and then we all became obsessed with the shop because it's just so
Yeah,
cute. It's
that's
so
awesome.
cute. Oh my God, someone started reading Yesteryear per my recommendation and oh, Ale, hey girl. Okay, yeah. I'm almost done with Yesteryear too. I'm like the very, very end and it's really great. Oh, Promise's book arrives today. Woo! Okay, if anyone hasn't gotten Promise's book,
I've
please do
gotten it.
that. Yeah.
Haven't started it, but I'm gonna start it soon. I'm excited.
It's really good. And honestly, when I read it, I took like notes because it's helpful when the like
Yeah.
crazy people call.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like, I feel like I need to take my time with it and
Yeah.
write down notes as well, because I would
Hmm.
also like to be able to, I don't know, talk about it when people bring it up. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so anyway, so we have some callers. And so far we only have atheists, and we would love to have some people who have differing opinions of
yeah, come
us
on, Theas.
call in. Yeah, so theist would be great. Someone who wants to talk about um what's it called? Reproductive rights. We could have that conversation. Of course, as usual, someone in my comments was commenting some shit about pro murdering babies shit.
What was even
And
your video?
it was not even related to that. It was the one, you know, that trend that's like top 5 horror movies.
Oh yeah.
Um, so oh my gosh, people are still going in on that video about what's it called? Ruining the vibe at the bar to tell men if you only like tiny hairless
That
bodies.
that's a really popular topic on TikTok right now. And I thought
Really?
of you. Yeah, I thought of you in your video because I was like, it was just interesting. It's like very a specific topic. I've seen like 10 videos on the past couple days. So
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
think, you know,
Because it's
whatever.
very the conversation is specifically about how it's really prevalent with white people. So like
That's interesting.
the beauty standard being like kind of, pedophile vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Um, anyway, the video where that guy had commented about whatever, murdering babies, it was like that trend that's my top 5 horror movie or top 5 horror movies, and it was I'll only marry a virgin, guy who's not a virgin. 2, what is foreplay? 3, how do I get her to be into XYZ? 4, well, why didn't they use a condom? And 5 was I don't have any symptoms, so I'm clean. So it has nothing to do with abortion. I don't know why that's what he wanted to comment. Pro
Just wanted to
murdering.
fight, probably.
Yeah, he said pro murdering babies post. Ew. And of course,
Okay.
follows me. So
Yeah. I know. You gotta love that. Every time you get a comment like that, and it says follow back, and I'm like, hello.
so ridiculous. So ridiculous. So I would love if he would call, but so far, no dice. I gave him a warning even like a week ago, and he's still, what are you gonna do? Monkey, a typewriter, said they're mad at you for perceiving them so accurately. That's really funny.
Yeah. That's the vibe it gives.
No, exactly. And I think it's also for men who are not like triggered by that idea. The reading that I think would just make you be like, oh, that's weird. Like, I wonder if there's something for me to look at in that. But instead, because like if you know realistically you're not attracted to children, but you take notice of the fact that you're like, oh wait, yeah, like I guess everyone that I've ever dated fits this profile. Maybe there's something for me in that's interesting just to look at, take a step back, have a critical thought, perhaps.
Right. And I've talked about this before, but I haven't all the time if I'm, talking about something in Christianity that's harmful, and then someone comes in my comments are like, why do you hate me? Why are you such a hateful person? I'm like, well, do you do the things that I was just talking about? First of all, I wouldn't even hate them if they did. That's not the point. But I'm like, so do you relate to this video? And they'll be like, no, not all Christians are like that. Okay. Then it's not about you, and it doesn't matter.
It's not about you. Then it's literally not about you. Oh God, I can't take it. I can't take it. We do have some calls that are in the queue, so maybe we start taking some, and maybe we'll get some more opposing calls later. If you're watching this video and you haven't liked the stream, what's wrong with you? Like the stream. And that helps to get pushed out in the algorithm. So we would really appreciate if you could do that for us. And share the video too to someone, to anyone, your mom. She might like it.
Yeah.
You never know.
She would.
She would.
I know it.
Yes. All right. So do you have a preference of these first two? I feel like the first one is interesting.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's what I was gonna say.
I need more information on this. Okay, I'm gonna pull in Jason, who's calling from New Zealand. Hello, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, Alyssa. Hello, Taylor. Congratulations,
Hi.
Alyssa.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really nice. You have to
It's on
explain
you.
your topic because the way that it's written in our system is it says, I got cock blocked by God. Should I pursue a Christian woman? Hilarious. Please elaborate.
Yeah. I hope that would capture your attention. So, yeah, it's a bit of a story. I haven't had a lot of luck on dating in general, throughout my life. And the woman I've been with for the past 10 years turned out to be a complete nightmare. A horrible narcissist. Anyway, so recently, I've been sort of trying to meet women, trying to date and move on. But obviously, especially being with a narcissist, that sort of makes you question a little bit your ability to identify someone who might be suitable. Anyway, so yes, I've sort of made contact through dating sites with a few different women, and it's been sort of clunky, and I've made a couple of friends. There's a woman that I go hiking with, which is lovely, but there's just no spark there. Anyway, a couple of months ago, I went to make a purchase. It was just through an online. It's like our local version of Craigslist. And this woman and I just absolutely hit it off. And, we must have talked for about an hour just on the spot. And then later on, I messaged her and I said, I really enjoyed our conversation. I'd like to talk more. So that was great. Anyway, as part of our initial conversation, I told her that I had a couple of books that I wanted to write. One's about the biological basis of transgender feeling, and the other is about evolution. And so she asked me, "Oh, okay. What's your stance on evolution?" And just kidding, I said, "Oh, I think it's a terrible plot from the devil that's been given to us to deceive us." And she said, "Oh, I agree." And I said, "Are you kidding?" She was not kidding. Anyway, so here I am, like normally, and I'm very atheist. So normally that would be a red flag, and I would just walk away. But yeah, I just like everything else sort of seemed to line up, and I was thinking, well, she's an intelligent woman. She's an educated woman. She's there's a lot of other things that seem to line up. I'll just let's talk and see if this isn't something that can work. But for her, finding out that I was atheist, it made her think that I would ridicule her spirituality. So yeah, even though I sort of assured her I'd be sensitive towards that. So she cut off all contact with me and blocked me on social media. So I'm just sort of wondering whether I should try to get around that and make contact again, because even to establish a friendship, because we had a lot of common interests and stuff outside of religion, whether it's worth doing that or whether I should just respect the fact that she's blocked me and which is what I would normally do. What's the
So I think
what
I think you're not alone in obviously in having a hard time in the dating landscape right now. It is very challenging, and part of it is because everything is very polarizing. It feels like there's no nuance, there's no like middle ground for things anymore, and it's become very stressful. So
well, it's not as bad here in New Zealand as it is over there, but
I figure.
unfortunately.
Oh, did I lose you? Oh, Jason, you might need to tap the screen if you called on a web caller. Like your phone might have gone to sleep. Jason? Well, in the event that you can hear us, I'll add more to what I was going to say, which is I think what's happening recently is that your religion has been an indication of other things, like other beliefs and morals and ethics that you have. So I think that they're like in the event that you do have any further contact with her and you're trying to navigate what that looks like, I think that there should be, oh, Jason's call dropped, so we must have lost him. I think that there should be some level of like conversation around where your ethics lie, I guess. I don't know if she blocked you or if she just like unfriended you. If she blocked you, then I think it's just she's made her boundary, and that's okay. And this is also something that maybe in the future, if you meet someone who you do really like, and you find out that she's religious, that doesn't automatically mean that the relationship can't happen. It just might look different than the other ones that you've had. And you're allowed to have nuance in what relationships look like to you. Like if you end up dating someone and you find out that they're religious, you can have a conversation that's like, okay, well, that will never be a part of my life. So if you're willing to, have this be one area of life where we don't agree and we can like set boundaries around that, then it's entirely possible for you to have a relationship. But you really have to think about what that's going to look like. What happens on holidays? What happens when you see her family? What happens if you decide to have children, if that's like on the table for you? Go ahead, Taylor.
For me personally, I know like I don't know what it's like there, but I know obviously what it's typically like here with that kind of thought process and what comes along with that. And I typically don't think it's worth it with new relationships or friendships. I have friends who are still friends with people who, don't believe in evolution and are like the typical like whatever, because they've been friends for so long and it's really hard for them. Like it takes a toll, and obviously it's a bit different because they've been friends for so long, but I get why people try, to keep the relationship in those situations, but when it's a new person, I don't think it's typically worth it, It's just like a bunch of extra, because that's like kind of like what you said, it's going to impact everything else, like everything else they think and do. And if they're like, my thought process is if they're completely ignoring factual information like science and evolution, what else are they willing to ignore or just like accept as far as faith and stuff? So I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Also, if she blocked you, like,
then
I'd
that's
just leave it.
Which, it's unfortunate, but probably for the best. And I've been telling some like sort of remaining coaching clients that I have who are going through the process of dating and like the feeling of putting yourself out there, getting rejected, putting yourself out there, getting rejected. It sucks, and I know it sucks. And what I tell them all the time is like, if you're looking for your your like person, the person you're gonna like spend the rest of your life with, ideally, or whatever, um, that is obviously not going to be easy. Like it's going to just like you're what you're asking for is a tall order, and every single relationship that you have is going to be a failure until you find the one that sticks.
Right.
So it just kind of is a game of resilience for a little while, which sucks. And like I don't think that anyone is immune to what that experience is. Like,
Right.
you know, I've been rejected plenty of times in my life. Especially
no one's immune to rejection. Ever.
totally. Especially like early when I was in college, when I think back at like some of the things that I accepted from men specifically, it like
Yep.
I cannot believe. I cannot believe. Oh my God.
It's
always
rough.
Yeah, it's always like the most boring person you've ever met in your life, and they're the
Oh
one
my
who
God,
rejects
yes. Literally. And like sometimes I think back of like if I felt rejected by someone and my feelings were so hurt, and looking back, I'm like, I wouldn't even be interested in them now.
Yeah.
And it's so a lot of it is just about wanting and a lot of times I don't think people realize this, but a lot of times I think it's about wanting the like a validation from other people, and you're not like, do I actually like this person? Are they actually interesting? But obviously you're not gonna know like right away. But yeah, that stuff is good times.
Yeah. I also feel like a lot of my early dating my early dating experiences, were me trying on different hats basically.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out if like and it was part of like my own self-discovery too. It's like, am I the kind of person who is, you know, my same self, but like has a partner in finance, or like,
right.
Is it me and a person who is like, you know, an artist, and seeing what that felt like, because you really don't know until you
right. Yeah.
Someone said, so when does Alyssa expect her marriage to end? Never, bitch.
I don't think you would expect it. I don't think most people expect it to end.
Yeah.
Like, I would hope that most people wouldn't go into a marriage being like, yeah, well.
Yeah. That would be crazy. Be like, and the expiration date is...
Yeah.
No, I like him so much. He stays. Okay, so we have two other calls in the chat. One is an atheist, one is a theist, but a theist that we have spoken to before. So, do you want to
real quick?
Yeah.
So the week I was here and you were gone, I took him because he was like also the last caller.
Yeah.
And God, I wish I remembered what happened, but basically he was asking an insane hypothetical, and everyone in the comments is like, Taylor, this is what you get.
Yeah, you got punished.
I did get punished. And I said to him, come on, please, can we do something else? Because like they're roasting me in the comments. Come on, let's have a real conversation.
That's amazing.
Good times.
That's amazing. I feel like now people in the chat are gonna be like, oh, well, we know. Okay, well, let's knock out our atheist call first, so we can be mindful of managing our time, I guess. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna pull in Liliana, who is calling in from Belgium. Hello, Liliana.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all that dating talk makes me so happy that I'm Arrow Ace, so I don't have to deal with any of that bullshit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
One less thing to be thinking about.
Yeah. So yeah, I first wanted to follow up a bit on my previous calls. So I said that I like makeup that made me feel less human, and I've been experimenting with that a bit more, and I've kind of discovered that I'm otherkin, so I've been diving into that stuff now. And that brings me to like the question I had for today, because like a lot of people in the otherkin community are very spiritual, religious,
Mhm.
and yeah, it feels like very difficult to build community with them, in my opinion, because like it feels like it's much more foundational to them. So I was hoping for some advice, like how do you navigate something like that?
So sorry, I think I missed what community this is that you're engaging with. Is this just like your local community, like the people that you are just making friends with?
No, the otherkin community online.
Okay. Taylor, do you have any thoughts off the bat?
The what community? I also am missing this.
Otherkin or Tyrion. Do you know anything about that?
Otherkin. I don't think so. Hold on a second.
No.
Okay. So it's a subculture whose members identify as partially or entirely non-human. Okay. So
Oh.
this identity is often considered integral to who they are and can be experienced spiritually, psychologically, or neurologically. That's interesting. I've never heard of this before.
I've had zero experience with any of it, if I'm being honest. I don't know how I would interact with it at all. Probably just try and, like, if I was interacting with them, like, kind of try and read them just like I would anybody else and try and just have like a conversation. I mean, I don't know beyond that what I would really do, or like I guess it depends on how often I am like interacting with them, but yeah, I haven't had experience with that at all.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But
And it sounds like, I mean, and then this is based off of like Google searching what the definition of it is. So, you know, give me a little grace on that. But it sounds like the root of the ideology is like kind of entangled with spirituality. But I guess that's not like your experience because you are atheist. So tell me more about that.
yeah, that's kind of exactly the problem. Like a lot of people like assume that it's like, some sort of reincarnation or, soul trapped in a different body, so to speak. There are also people who approach it from more psychological standpoint, but those are not necessarily the majority of the people. And also the subsection that I'm in, which like leans more into like Fae and Elven things, is extremely spiritual. Like I went to a convention, well, an online convention, and like half the talks were about magic and meditation and finding your inner soul, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I just don't have any experience with it, and it feels like very alienating, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
I feel like I would struggle in those environments because I don't feel spiritual at all. I don't even think I knew that aspect was in all of that, but it makes sense now that you say that. I feel like I would struggle with that because I don't consider myself spiritual at all, and it's hard for me to it's hard to even I feel like it's hard to communicate if that's someone's like whole identity and it's tied to spirituality, and I don't even believe that there's any kind of supernatural spiritual world, period. So I feel like I would have a lot of awkward interaction because I'm not gonna pretend like I believe like in something spiritual or like otherworldly. So I feel like maybe the conversation would be very surface level for me if I'm being honest. But that's all I really got.
Yeah, I think
that's exactly my problem too.
Yeah. I wonder if you could find a way to make some kind of community of people who are not spiritual, but still a part of the otherkin culture. Like maybe what you're noticing, honestly, is like a gap in the market, like a space where it would actually be helpful for you to like open up a conversation of people who are not spiritual but do identify this way and have this sort of like personal experience. And like when I did the Google, I could see that there is r/otherkin, and I wonder if that might be a way to go about it. And then beyond that, I think, like many things in life, you take the things that you would like to, and you leave the things that you don't. And especially if you're clear with those people, and are not leading with judgment, and are just kind of like, when they're having these conversations and they're bringing in spirituality, it's totally okay for you to say, like, I don't totally align with the spiritual part of it, but this is my experience, and like, describe how you relate to them. Or I don't really align with the spirituality of it all, but that's really interesting. And being open and clear so that you could still be yourself in those environments, but also still participate in them, so you can have the benefit of being a part of a community.
Yeah, I have found some people who are like definitely more science minded about everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, a few blogs that I follow, and yeah, that's not the same as like being able to like, go to a convention and have like, conversation, have like panels that are actually, interesting and helpful. Like I'm sorry, but I don't want to know how I can incorporate magic or incorporate color into my magic system, because I don't have a magic
Right.
system.
Right.
Unless it's Magic the Gathering.
But Liliana, this could be a space where you lead that conversation. Like, you could be the person who proposes a panel at these conventions.
Yeah. There probably are people who feel the same.
Yeah. So I think I think you are recognizing a space that could benefit from you sort of like stepping up and creating an environment to have that kind of conversation. Like, why not? Like, that, if it doesn't exist right now, it feels impossible that you're the only person who feels this way. And so why not? Why not get in there?
That is actually very helpful advice. It's a bit very, very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will be, but this is a moment where, again, sometimes in life we do stuff scared. So do it scared, and just kind of like, it kind of feels like the way that people describe if you were to go skydiving, which I would never do because I'm a big scaredy cat. But I assume the way you do it is sort of like, don't think about it so much and jump. And so I think in this circumstance, it's a don't think about it, jump, do it scared, and it'll be fine. Like, the worst thing that happens is you do the panel and then you decide like that's not for you, and you don't have to do it ever again. But at least you gave it a shot.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I would say. And go into the Reddit too and make a post and just be like, I'm not particularly spiritual. I identify as an atheist. I would love to have a little community of folks that are in the same boat. And so, see if you get some good responses.
Mm-hmm. I haven't really been on Reddit ever, so that would also be new ground for me.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love Reddit. Reddit is the best, and there's a lot of spaces to find community and And it's, so there are some parts of Reddit that are definitely a fright. But but places like this where it's like r/otherkin, they're going to have a moderator. They're going to make sure that they do their best to keep the space safe. So yeah, I would check it out. I think that might be a fun thing to do.
That could be a good place to start to practice, like talking to people about that kind of stuff. I think that would be good.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah. One last thing I want to share is like, as a trans person, I'm finally getting through like the proper like teenage girl stage where I can do makeup that makes my parents mad.
Yay! Isn't makeup fun? That's the best.
It is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, I hope that you're enjoying all of the experiences that you're getting to have. And I'm so jealous you get to do it all for the first time again. And thank you so much for calling. This was an interesting new thing for us to learn. And we appreciate you having this conversation with us.
Yeah. Thank you and good night.
Bye, Liliana.
Is that your place?
It is nighttime, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, Liliana.
Bye.
Bye.
Learn something new every day.
I was laughing because we were talking about skydiving, and then you said something else. And you're like, "What's the worst that could happen?" I was like, "Well, you could dive."
Yeah, that doesn't totally apply to skydiving. It's not a perfect metaphor because
it was good enough. It was good enough.
You totally could die skydiving. And I think I'd found this like account on Instagram where this girl was like jumping off of hot air balloons in the middle of the sky. I don't know. And I feel like I showed it to you because I was like, this is so fucked up.
The different the stunts, and it was like something like them like on a play set or a slide or something. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw this. Yeah,
it's crazy. Oh boy, sorry. I see a call in the screening room and I think it might be like Phil Bro content. Okay, well, we have one other call that is in our queue, and so I think that we get to take that call. But before we
guys can't cry about it. We have nothing else.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Before we do, if you're not a patron already, go to patreon.com/calltheline. That helps us keep everything moving here. And especially when, things on our schedule get sort of like crazy and funky and whatever, that really does help us out a lot. And I know some people were expressing their well wishes for Jimmy. I do think he is okay, but what if he had a sort of scary night last night? So honestly, and like this, I don't know if this like sounds silly, but like joining the Patreon like makes it much easier for Jimmy and like producers to be able to make decisions like taking a day off when he has to. So anyway, we really appreciate it when you join the Patreon. It really, really means a lot to us and the channel. So thank you so much for being there.
Is that why everybody was saying like rip Jimmy at the beginning of this?
Yeah.
I didn't know that like they knew about his accent. So I was like, why is everybody saying rip Jimmy?
I have no idea how they found out.
I don't know. Someone must
do you know?
No, I have no idea. I haven't told anybody except you guys.
So crazy.
That's
so
funny.
Crazy. You guys you're everywhere. Oh my gosh, we have another theist who called. So do we okay, how about this? If we get a super chat of $50 or more, we will take our Andrew call. Well, see, I don't even want to do that because we don't have that many calls in, and so we will probably have to take Andrew's call anyway, and y'all can't cry about it. So
someone said, "I'll cry about anything. Just watch me." Fair, but just know.
Oh my god, that's funny. And for the record, I I do enjoy a good sparring match with Andrew. So, it really is you guys who have really big objections. But y'all, he's not banned. I see him in the queue.
He might have been banned from the Jimmy Snow number.
Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting.
Does that happen? Do certain people get banned by certain shows and not by others?
Well, we
That's
have different phone numbers, so yeah.
I see what
If
you're
Jimmy
saying.
were to tell me, by the way, Andrew is banned across
Yeah.
all of our platforms, then I would be like, okay, chill. But he
Oh.
is injured right now, so he can't tell me what to do.
Rip.
Rip. Okay, well, we do have another theist that's in the queue. So let's take them first and give a new person the opportunity to get a word in. So I'm gonna pull in Nate. Hello, Nate.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how's it
How you
going?
guys doing? Oh, it's going.
Wonderful. You're calling from West Virginia.
My God.
All right, so what did you want to chat about today?
Yeah, I don't know how long your show's been going, so like I don't know what points have already been made. I just kind of saw you guys on YouTube, but yeah, I think that like a lot of women do appreciate gender roles. I know it's not popular on the left kind of thing, and I don't know if a point's been made to the effect that like to accept one gender role is kind of to accept another. So it's like women feel like they're being put in this box and men maybe aren't, but it's like you're both accepting kind of a box, you know, and to play your role. And it's like, you know, maybe it's like a tree, you know, the woman is the roots, like she holds everything together, you know, provides nourishment. And yeah, it can be, you know, kind of some dirty work sometimes, childbearing, raising family. And it seems like the man gets to, you know, go chase the sun, but he also is supposed to face the storms and, you know, deal with the rain. So it's kind of it's a balance.
So, a couple of things. I'm sure it's interesting that you use the analogy of a tree being the roots of a tree, because the only thing that holds the tree to the ground is the roots. So I actually sort of agree with that metaphor that a woman in a traditional gender role probably does feel like the only thing that holds their house down is her alone.
Yeah.
And
Emphasis on alone.
yeah. So I think that was an interesting analogy that you chose. I also, or metaphor, I never remember the difference, which is horrible. We'll get to that
That's
another
fine.
time. Anyways, the other thing is when people talk about the left and our views of gender roles, or the views of gender roles on the left as a whole, it's a lot of like, you guys don't want that. And that's not true. The truth is when you're talking to somebody who is a feminist, the goal is that everyone gets to make their own choices. So if a woman has decided that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, she wants to take on exactly the traditional gender roles that, like, you know, she grew up with, that are biblical, whatever. As a feminist, I am so happy for her, and I wish her all of the best in the world, and I hope that that is exactly, you know, the experience that she wanted to have, because that's what feminists want. I want you to make the choices that you want to make, instead of feeling like you are actually, to use your phrase, boxed into this one version of life. So, so I think that's a common misconception, that people who are on the left don't want gender roles. We don't want people to feel confined by them. But you are welcome to do and encouraged to do what you want to. So yeah, Taylor, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so I have similar thoughts in the way where I obviously want people to be able to make a choice. But the reason I do talk against usually traditional gender roles is because I worry that people who do pick that path, they become vulnerable to a couple different things. Like it worries me when women become solely reliable on a man, as in like she's never really had much of a job, she didn't get any schooling. Because then if something does happen, like abuse, it's really, really hard for them to leave. I mean, it's kind of like similar back to when like women couldn't really provide for themselves and they didn't have many options. So I think those kind of dynamics really set one of the two partners to be in a very vulnerable position where they could get absolutely ruined. I mean, there's plenty of examples of a couple they get divorced and a man just divorces his wife who has taken care and raised the kids their whole life, and she's left with absolutely nothing, including um no work history or education, where she can't just go out and get a job because she spent her whole life raising the children, and at the end of the day she got absolutely nothing. I actually know someone personally who became homeless because of that. And
Whoa.
so, yeah, so it's really scary to me when there's an entire system preaching to women to be so reliant on their partner. I don't think it's right. I think if you don't have any independence, it's actually really scary and you're more vulnerable to being mistreated and your whole life being destroyed.
Oh yeah, of course there's a lot of vulnerability in that. That's why it's all we're talking about from a Christian kind of biblical perspective, right? So if you're going to be in this gender role of, a Christian woman and have that gender role, I mean, you need to do a great job of picking out a good Christian man who's gonna be the Christian husband.
Yeah, but that's
that is
in reality, there's not perfect
gonna,
people and perfect relationships. So when I'm talking about like the reality we live in, not this like fantasy of, oh, everybody picks a perfect man and they get a perfect
right,
relationship.
okay, well, I mean, marriage is a religious institution. Like everybody
No, it's not.
should
No,
not
it's
get
not.
married. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
No, it can be. It can, like, you can
you
incorporate
can do a
religion, but
domestic partnership and get a lot of the same
No.
benefits. It doesn't have
I'm
to
looking
be
at
marriage.
my marriage license right now, which is not a, what did you say?
Yeah,
A domestic partnership. It is a marriage certificate in the state of Nevada.
well, why did you choose marriage instead of a domestic partnership?
Honestly, Nate,
for me,
for
benefits.
fun. Yeah, tax benefits, being able to share health insurance, and for fun.
For fun. Well, you engaged in a religious institution for
No, I did not engage in a
taxation is
religious
fun.
institution.
Nate,
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
As far as the church is concerned, my marriage is not, there has nothing to do with the church. The church was not involved in it whatsoever.
Nate,
Whatsoever.
are you aware that
That's not
like
what I'm saying. I'm
are you
talking about
aware
like
that
the origin of it.
yeah, are you aware that marriage predates Christianity, or do you genuinely believe Christianity like
The
invented
term marriage,
It
the word marriage?
and the idea of one man, and the
I don't
idea of
think
one
that's
man,
true.
one woman
That's not
predates
true.
Christianity.
Yes, it does. It predates Christianity.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So now what?
Well, I'll take your word for it. What do you think they called it back then? Marriage. But for the last, 2,000 years, marriage is a religious institution.
Wait, what? Say that again?
For the past 2,000
For the
years,
last
marriage
2,000
has been
years. Yeah. Plus.
marriage has been a
2,000 years
religious.
plus.
Wait, what?
What?
There's always been people though who
It's a covenant.
But if I didn't get married
what?
in a church, it's not a covenant. It's a legal document.
But wait,
The
why
church
do
had nothing to do with
also why should I care if like What? Like, I don't understand. Do you think there's no one else in the world who got married without your religion involved or had their version of marriage? I'm just confused of what we're even
Okay,
saying.
yeah. From my perspective, this is my perspective. If God's real, if the Bible's true, then the idea of one man, one woman together, starting a family, living a life together is a design by God. And if you're trying to do it as a partnership, just to involve, it's supposed to be a tri-union, man, woman, and God, right? And if God's not in there, that's when we see divorce rates go up. That's when we see abuse go up. That's when we see, all these
Okay.
Hold on.
failures
I don't even
at
think,
the institution itself.
First of all, I don't even think divorce is bad. Second of all, a ton of abuse happens within marriages when people can't get divorced.
Yes.
But number three, the whole point is we have no proof God exists, and we know for a fact that things like marriage predate Christianity. So you can say, oh, if all of this is real, then God created it. Sure. I mean, that doesn't mean anything because I don't believe that's real.
And yeah, God didn't. The designer of the game didn't leave proof that he designed it in the game. Sorry, but there's a lot of pretty strong notions of creation. So
Yeah, well, as long as it's not proof, I'm not going to assume it's real. It doesn't make sense to do that.
pretty. Okay. Well, there's a lot of fine tuning and complexity on a very small level that very much suggests
Complexity doesn't
a
equal a
creator.
god. It never has.
Well, says you. Okay.
There's a reason there's the God of the gaps fallacy. There's just like, you're basically saying just because something's complicated or I don't understand it, an all-being God or all-knowing God must have
So
done
are
it. Like, it
you.
just,
I mean, all of your atheistic things go back to I don't understand it also. So we're not so
Like
that
what?
far apart on that.
like what? Like, what don't I
The
understand?
beginning of the universe, the creation of all the proteins and various things that would allow a
Wait.
single-celled organism to
Wait, hold on.
exist and
Nate,
reproduce. You
hold
don't
on.
understand how that came to be.
So I'm not sure if you know this, but there's a lot of things where I'm very comfortable with saying I don't know. That's why I don't assume there's a God and I don't assume I know how the universe was created because I think that's being dishonest. I don't know exactly
Yeah,
all
okay.
of the ins and outs about the universe being created and a bunch of answers. For a lot of different things, because I think that I have a limited human brain. I also didn't study the sciences like that. So I think it's more honest to say I don't know the answer to a lot of those things, but I'm not going to assume it was
I would
God
agree.
because there's no proof that it was God. So why would I think it is?
I mean, it goes both ways. There's no proof that it wasn't God. You don't know. I don't know. I have faith in one
Wait.
thing. You have
So,
faith in another.
Nate, if you're saying you don't know, why are you trying to tell me it was God? You are saying that you know. You're saying you know that it was God.
I'm not saying I know it was God. I'm saying I have faith that it was God. Just like you have faith that it's not God. You don't know.
No, Nate, I'm not having faith. I'm just not assuming it's real. There's
Yeah,
a
you do,
difference
'cause you
between
don't
that.
know. You
No,
believe
No.
I've
something
never,
that you
I've
don't
never,
know.
No,
I've
So you have
never
faith.
said,
You-
hold on, I've never said that I know it's not God. I've never said I know God doesn't exist. I just don't assume God exists because there's no reason for me to. I don't need faith, just like I don't need faith
It
to
might be.
not assume all the other gods exist. Do you have to have faith every day that mermaids and elves don't exist?
I mean, it's a little deeper than that. I mean,
Is it?
when you look around at your own existence, mermaids and unicorns don't, play a large factor in your existentialism, but God,
Yeah, that's how I
creator,
feel about how I feel about God in the Bible.
Yes.
There's a ton of
same.
things in the Bible that are like obviously not real, but but people
Like
want to
what?
try to convince
Like
me they
what?
are real. Like a talking
what?
donkey, a talking snake, a worldwide flood, miracles, magic, literally everything,
Okay,
people
so
coming back from the dead.
if one thing in the Bible is true, if in the beginning God created, if that's true, anything's possible. You're living in a
But I don't
So
think
why
that's
aren't
true.
elves
That's
and mermaids
true.
real then? If anything's possible, why don't you believe in elves and mermaids then?
I don't
You're
know
just
that
saying
they're
you
not
didn't. You
real.
don't believe that.
There's a
You're
long
just.
history of people believing in sirens. I don't know that they're not real. I'm not saying, oh, absolutely not. I don't know. I've never seen
But
one.
you don't assume they're real, right? You don't assume they're real because there isn't proof that they're real,
I don't
right?
assume. I don't know that they're not, but I don't go around, looking for them.
What about other gods?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that they derive from the fallen angels and they actually existed, and then other civilizations were coerced into worshiping these fallen angels. So
Where in the Bible does it say that?
the Nephilim, and yeah, a third of heaven fell. The fallen angels came down. They mated with human women. They lusted after them, mated with them, created these races called the Nephilim, and they were giants. And they ate everything, and then they ate humans, and then they turned on each
What
other,
is
and there was this
happening?
great war. And then it's all this theological mythology.
There,
It's pretty interesting.
Nate, there's
actually.
nothing in the Bible that says that all other religious is like all of the other religions' gods are Nephilim. There's nothing in the Bible that says that. You made that up.
Not directly. I'm assuming
Yeah,
that
you
based
insert
on the
exactly.
fact that
You
it
just
does
made that
say
up.
that there was fallen angels and Nephilim, and these things like to be worshipped, and they probably had some, relatively astonishing gifts.
I don't really like, so here's the thing that sort of puts the kibosh on all of this for me, Nate. The Bible is as true to me as the Dr. Seuss series. Like, there is nothing about the Bible that makes me think that
Got to be
any
a little
part
more
of
true
it.
than that.
All
There's a lot
I
of
right.
archaeological
genuinely,
evidence that would
I
support it.
genuinely don't, I don't believe that is the case. And I think,
Okay, you're free to believe what you want, but it's a little
Yeah, so can
more
you, I guess.
real
well,
than
I
Dr. Seuss,
believe,
according to many
I
archaeologists.
believe, I archaeologists have not proven the events of the Bible. That is a myth. That is not true.
There's a lot of
Um,
them that have been supported by archaeology. Yeah,
Like
has,
what?
yeah, like what? Yes, tell me.
like the crossing of the sea by the Israelites and all the chariots and everything found like in this line, kind of
No,
going
No,
across
not
this
that's
true.
just,
raised
yeah,
flat.
that's not
Oh
true.
no, not true. Okay, you haven't been there. I haven't been there, but I watched a documentary on it, and they seem pretty convinced. So, I mean,
Okay, so
somebody's lying or whatever. But
right,
I believe
Correct.
him more than
somebody is
you.
lying.
So.
You have to think of it this way, Nate. Having having religion succeed, especially in this country, is a big, big, big priority to people. And so I think in some cases people see what they want to see. And I think to some degree that describes what you're experiencing, but I think it also is the experience of many of these people that you're talking about who have created
I think it's
documentaries
the
around
experience of
this.
you also. You see what you want to see because you don't want to be
Sure, yeah,
confined by
absolutely.
any type of rules
No.
or
The difference is I
the
don't
fear
the
of
difference
sin
is
and hell.
the difference
You don't
is
want
the
that. So
difference
you
is
see what
we
you want
don't
to see.
just the difference is we're not just making shit up like you are when
Right.
you're saying like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna assume because this Bible or like this part of the Bible says this, I'm just gonna assume this, I'm gonna make it up. What am I making
I'm not
up?
alone on that. I didn't just make that up myself. There's a lot of
Okay, I'm sorry.
theologians that have
Somebody else made it
speculated
up
on
and you're
that.
repeating it. That's okay. Like I don't there you really don't see a difference there.
The other part of it, Nate, is that while I think all human beings to some degree we see what we want to see, it's just like part of the human condition. The difference is that when you're part of a community that is skeptical all the time and you're asking questions all the time because the priority is the truth. It's not my belief system, it's the truth. And that creates a completely different result. So while, yes, I think that human beings are all sort of like in this see what you want to see mode, we have chosen truth above, you know, faith and belief. Like that, it pursuing the truth is more important. And so it puts us in a different context than the one that you live in. Even though, we're both human beings and are susceptible to seeing what we want to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've been skeptical of Christianity, and I've pursued truth, and I've found that I believe it to be the truth. And I understand there's a lot of difficult concepts for people to wrap their minds and hearts around that keep them from believing that it's the truth, but not for me. So I believe it is the truth.
You are allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. Whatever. I don't really care, and I'm not going to go out of my way to convince
about truth.
To convince
we're talking
you.
About truth. So we have an agree to disagree situation on what the truth is.
But let's not pretend it's created equal, because it's not.
Yeah. The difference is that our version of truth it relies on facts, not belief, not faith. It relies on tangible.
We haven't addressed any facts at all. That you can't disprove my religion, nor can I prove it to you. So
yeah, but do you understand? Do you understand why that's not created equal then? Because you're making a positive claim. So you typically, when you make a positive claim, you should have proof of that thing. I'm not making a positive claim. I'm just saying I don't believe your claim.
Why would it work that way?
Because it's called the burden of proof. That's how that works.
Okay.
If I tell you that I see a pink unicorn in my room right now, I see it. It's across the room right now. And I'm asking you to believe that that is the case. And I say, well, you can't prove to me that that's not the case. So why would you not believe that there's a pink unicorn in the room? You understand how that doesn't make sense?
An imaginary thing in your room.
But it is.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Tangible.
But it's not tangible. That's the point. It's not tangible.
Isn't tangible.
It's not tangible.
I've talked about fine tuning and the complexity of basic life forms that I just don't believe they could have come from nothing. And there's all kinds of.
There's no
life
proof
didn't come
on your
life
side
didn't
of
come
the coin. I mean, there's a lot of problems
life didn't
on your
come
side
from
too. The burden of proof
life
is not
didn't
just
come
on me.
from nothing. When you're making a God claim, yes, the burden of proof for the God claim is on you. But there is proof to show evolution and where we came from. So, when you're talking about
not macroevolution, there's no hard proof of macroevolution.
Nate, what happens with micro?
There are a lot of gaps.
Nate, what happens with microevolution over long periods of time? What do you think happens?
Single species differentiate from one another, but there's not been any archaeological evidence.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Why would you not believe in macroevolution if you just told me anything was possible, so mermaids and elves could be real, but evolution couldn't?
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that there's not hard evidence for it.
There is, but
there is, and the difference is, again, it's what we are talking about. The difference between belief and non-belief is we don't have a claim to prove to you. We are saying that the thing that you are describing does not have evidence that is satisfactory for us, and so we don't believe it to be true because there's no evidence to believe that. Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. Thank you so much. And the other part of it is, in the event that there suddenly was proof, because we are committed to the truth, if there was proof that actually, there is a God that exists and all of the events in the Bible are real, there would be a huge wave of atheists who would then have to look at their whole system again, because we are pursuing truth, not belief. So what we're describing has because it's about skepticism and finding truth, what we're describing allows for the flexibility of proof changing what we believe. We just haven't seen any convincing proof.
Okay. Well,
But you called originally about biblical gender roles, so, and that women should want them. And it sort of devolved into this, but
Also, why, I guess if you believe anything's possible at all, why are you believing in your specific belief system and not another one that could be true? What makes yours true compared to
I've looked
everybody
into
else's?
the other major religions. I mean, Islam, Hinduism, and
Okay.
even Judaism, and I've just found a lot more experiential evidence and
Like what?
a lot more archaeological. I mean, I don't want to just go on and start bashing other religions. Like, that's certainly
It's
not what I'm
not
here to do.
what
But
saying
I just
saying why
found,
you hold on saying why you don't believe in
I
another
found, I
religion
found
is not bashing
falsities.
them.
I found falsehoods in those
Like
that
what?
I just haven't found in Christianity.
Saying what you
Well,
found not believable isn't bashing the religion. So can you explain to me what you mean?
okay, the reliability, yeah, it is. I mean, okay, yeah, the reliability of Muhammad as a prophet, I found a lot of holes in that. So Islam's out.
Like what?
Hinduism's very strange. They do a lot of strange things, and
So does Christianity.
a lot
so
of
does
their beliefs
Christianity.
don't make any sense
And
to me.
I also am curious about why
So
you find
vibes.
yeah. I am curious about why you would find Muhammad not a reliable narrator, but all of the books in the Bible were written like hundreds of years after these events allegedly happened, and the Bible has been changed multiple times. So I don't know why that sounds more reliable to you.
I mean, you don't know that, and it would be
We
very
do know that.
difficult. Like the amount of, so let's just take the New Testament, for example, like the amount of copies that they started making, copies. Eventually, even after 50 years, during the lifetimes of the apostles, you know how difficult it would be to find, bury, burn all of the original copies, make everything one thing for a while, and then
What?
we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm saying it, after a long time, there's no way the whole thing could be corrupted, and everyone has this false version
Have you ever,
of a
Nate,
Bible.
have you ever
What?
played telephone before?
That's not how this works. That's not how
But
telephone works.
that was how
These
it worked for
manuscripts.
hundreds of
Okay,
years
play
after the events
telephone.
happened.
Play
They were
telephone
telling the
over the
stories
course of your
they were
whole
sharing these
lifetime.
stories by mouth. They were sharing these stories, telling them to each other. And that
Not
is how
one
these
time.
stories. Right, exactly, which is
And
even
you're-
worse. You understand how
You're
telephone
talking
you
about the
understand
Old
how telephone
Testament
works.
also. You're talking
No.
about the Old Testament, and we have the Dead Sea Scrolls that date currently what we have in the Old Testament at least 1,500 years, and it's basically the same. So
That's
Wait. So do we believe like everything that Egyptians wrote down when it came to their gods and goddesses then because it's old and so it must all be true or what?
I mean, that's okay. I'm not saying because someone wrote something down that it's true. Like, that's not the
Okay.
claim. The claim is that it hasn't been changed.
but it has been changed.
It has.
And like it's
How
been
so?
changed in a documented way. The Bible that is most often used is the King James. Oh my God, hello, King James Bible, Lord. So that Bible is one that was altered by King James. It is the King James Bible. It also is a translated text, which means that there's a lot of it that is up to interpretation. There's an interpretation of the Bible that was translated by a woman, and the story is completely different than the ones that were translated by men.
Yeah, and Nate, also
Well,
things get
I
lost.
believe that as time goes on, we're using the Hebrew and the Greek, very old manuscripts, the papyrus manuscripts, to translate current versions of the Bible. So
Do
I
you?
believe that even
But
if
you
there
don't,
was
Nate.
a time
You're
period
not. You're
when they
not
got
reading that
further
Bible. Those
away from
Bibles,
the
though.
original,
You're
then
you. They
we're past
Nate.
that and we're
You
getting
read.
closer.
You read. Honestly, I can say this beyond a shadow of a doubt that you read the King James Bible. If the Bible
No, I
that you
don't.
read,
I don't.
what church, what kind of denomination is your church?
Non-denominational.
Non-denominational. The Bible that you purchase, what type of Bible do you read? What does it say on the front of it?
I have a New International Version, NIV, and I have an NLT, a New Living Translation, and I've done a lot of reading in the Ethiopian Bible, which has like more books.
The
Wait, so
Ethiopian Bible,
I have a question. So
which has
even
more books. Wait, sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, I agree. All I was gonna say is, even if that stayed the same the whole time, who cares? What is that? Does that make it true? You just said it doesn't make it true.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
So what's the point of this
Yeah, I
conversation?
believe it's true based on a lot of, like I said, archaeological and experiential evidence. Like when you read it,
You can't even
and
explain to me why you think other religions are false. Like you'll just say, "Oh, I don't think they're."
I
I
explained to
just
you
don't think.
why I thought
No, you-
Islam was false, and I didn't look
No, you
that much
didn't.
into Hinduism because it just got too weird too fast. Like,
Well, I think your religion's
Well,
weird. So
yeah,
what?
you guys do blood. You guys have a blood sacrifice part of your religion
And eat
at
his body and
mass.
drink his blood. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
think
why
that's
everybody else is weird.
freaking weird. Yeah.
well, we don't. Okay, well, we eat crackers and drink wine, so it's not that weird.
Well,
We
you're
don't
symbolically.
bathe in.
Being you're
We
yeah,
don't
it's
worship
symbolically being a
cows
cannibal.
or build statues out of their feces.
You think?
Or
Wait, hold on a second. You think worshiping a cow is more strange than symbolically drinking the blood and eating the flesh of
A human.
a human? That's how is the cow more weird? How did you get there?
it's symbolically that his flesh and blood were given to us as atonement. It's not like we're
Yeah, and it's
acting
weird.
like we're cannibals.
Do
It's
you-
like we're
But
accepting
it's-
that gift of his flesh and blood.
Yeah, but you understand that sounds like witchcraft. Like that sounds like a creepy human sacrifice thing. And my point, our point in bringing this up is just to say you can't dismiss an entire religion based on, well, it sounds weird because your religion sounds weird. The only reason
I'm
it doesn't
sorry I
sound
haven't
weird to
looked
you is
into
because you're
Hinduism
used
more.
to it.
Have you looked into Hinduism? Have you?
No, because I don't believe
Okay,
I don't
okay. Well,
believe
then
that there
let's
is
not
a
talk
higher
about
power.
it, okay? Then let's just not talk about
No,
it
the
if you have no
difference
idea
is,
what you're talking
Nate,
about.
the difference is we're saying we don't believe in any of these religions because none of you have proof for something
Okay,
supernatural.
you're saying you haven't
And
even
you're
looked
saying
into the
you
others.
believe
I've
in
looked into
and
them,
you're
and I found one that I believe
Be
in.
quiet. Stop talking. But you believe in one of them, which doesn't make sense because you can't prove the others are wrong. Everything you're saying is like, "Oh, I just believe what I believe based on vibes," which is fine, but like that's not the same as being an atheist. We're just saying we don't believe in your claim and for good reason. It's like a good reason because of everything you're saying. You're telling us you're going based off vibes. So why would
So
anybody
basically, your original question, I just can't answer it because we have to go back into you believing that the entire doctrine that the gender roles and the marriage and everything was based off of is a fairy tale. So I can't. Your original question, you really shouldn't even ask it because, like, you
No, we're
wouldn't
going
accept
No, but
a
the
good
thing
answer
is
if you got it.
the thing is, Nate, we're gonna ask that question because we have people in this country literally making laws off of a fairy tale. So it's kind of an issue. So we have conversations about it.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't believe it's a fairy tale, and you don't get to, dictate everything for them, just like you don't want
Hold
them
on.
to dictate
I'm
everything
not the
for
one.
you.
Hold on. I'm not the one dictating anything for you. It's literally the opposite with
Well,
Christian
you guys
nationalists
are,
wanting
yeah,
to
you,
dictate
yeah,
it for me.
You want to. You would if you could. You just
Well,
can't
dictate
yet.
what?
But
Dictate
I mean,
what? What would I dictate for you? Can you explain that? I
what
can't
do
think
you
of a
mean?
single
If
thing.
if this was just a straight theocracy or whatever, then there wouldn't be gay marriage, there wouldn't be abortion, there wouldn't be all kinds of things that we do have. So clearly, you're not living in a theocracy.
Did I say that I was? I never said that. I said
Kinda,
Christian nationalists
kinda.
are trying to.
You said you're dictating everything, and we're not dictating everything.
Oh my God, Nate, shut up. I said Christian nationalists are trying to do that. There's a difference. You're just ignoring it because you know that I'm right.
No, each side is trying to dictate things in their favor. Yes, they are.
No,
Each
they're
side is
not.
trying
No,
to
they are
dictate things
not.
in their
Nate, I
favor.
want you to give me one example of like what progressives are trying to force upon you. Can you explain that to me?
Let's see. Progressives themselves, like there are a lot of laws that I've heard of in California that will allow like reduced sentences for pedophilic activity and things like that.
That's
I know
not true.
all liberals don't
That's
identify
not
with that,
true.
but that
Wait,
comes from the left.
That's not
Comes from the
true.
left.
That's not
Wait.
true, Nate. You're
Wait,
in.
what is being, so again, what
It's
is,
put
like,
in there.
please
It's
answer.
put in there by Democratic people.
Can you please answer the question?
You saw that on some Newsmax Facebook post.
You guys got,
Like that's what it is.
Nate,
I live in the state of California.
Legalization of marijuana.
So
So
You
what
guys
it,
got
who's, so,
drug legalization
what is
in
again,
Portland and
Nate,
other
I need
places
you to,
like that.
Nate, I'm muting you for a second. I need you to tell me, this is a specific question, so I need you to listen up. What from progressives is being forced upon you? Anything you've mentioned so far nothing is being forced upon you. So please answer the question.
In a lot of workplaces, I mean, this wouldn't be, U.S. federal law per se, but in workplaces, there are things that you really have to watch, your words. You can, there for a little bit, you could misgender
what you're
somebody and get in trouble.
Right, what you're describing.
What you're describing, like there are women who have
someone's forcing you to use a different bathroom.
How did I know that this is what it was going to be? I'm shocked that you didn't immediately say the LGBT because that's what you all fucking say. It's just crazy. What we are asking for is to just be respectful of one another. And those protections, by the way, protect you too. That means that when you are in a work environment, if you want to, if like, let's say you work at your desk or whatever the fuck, and you want to put a cross up at your little cubicle, those protections also allow you to do that. This is the thing that is so annoying to me. It's this community of people that insists that our desire to be inclusive is somehow exclusive of you, even though our goal is to be inclusive of you, of the lifestyle that you want to choose. You so badly want to be oppressed. It's unfucking believable. It's the same thing with feminism. You all write this whole messed up, like ridiculous fuck ass story that feminists are, blue hair, bra burning women who just want to take away people's rights. When in reality, all we want to do is make sure that people can make the choices that they want to. And then you turn around and you go, the LGBT in workplaces, you can't say whatever you want.
So you
No, you can't say whatever you want. You can't say what. Shut up.
I would love to tell you.
You can't say whatever you want. Of course you cannot say whatever you want. If you're going to go out here and offend people in a workplace, no less, why the fuck do you think you should be able to say whatever you want? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, Nate. Oh my God. Sorry. I just got so mad.
But again, this is a great example of like Christian nationalists, for example, they want to take away abortion rights. Doesn't matter if you think it's right or not. It's a right they want to take away from people. On top of that, if they had it their way, we wouldn't have gay marriage either. There are a ton of things that they actually want to strip people from people, rights that they want to take away from people. But when I ask you what rights you would get taken away, what would get taken away from you, you can't name a single thing. So to pretend like these things are created equal is a joke to me.
You want to be oppressed so badly. It's unbelievable. Having people be respected in their workplaces, meaning that you can't walk around a workplace and be like, that's so gay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you can't just offend people whenever you want.
Yeah, that's common sense.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm going to unmute you now because I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I said misgendering. I didn't just say like you can.
Doesn't matter. Same thing. Same thing.
but-
Same thing. Misgendering is the same thing. You're
Okay.
respecting somebody's preference. How would you like it if when I spoke to you, I just called you David? I was like, hey, David, can you get me that report on time? You know, at some point you would say, no, actually, I'm sorry. My name is Nate, because that is your name. That is the one that you want to be
Okay.
called.
Also, Nate, if
I
you were in a
wouldn't- I
workplace,
wouldn't
if you were
report
in
you
a
to HR.
workplace, if you were in a workplace and you were working with just say cis woman and you kept calling her a man and she complained and you would not stop doing it, you would still get fired. So I'm not
Right.
sure what the
There's a difference in
argument is.
doing it. It's going to be like, you know, you walk in a room, hey, what's up, man? You know, oh, sorry, yeah, no, I mean,
No, that's
what's
not
up,
Nate. That's made up. If
girl?
you are, people understand the difference between colloquialisms. If you're saying to someone, "Hey, dude, what's up?" and it's a person who identifies as a
Yeah.
female, they're not going to make a big stink about that. This is made up propaganda to make you feel scared
People
of
don't
something
make
that
a
is
big
not
stink
real.
about you saying
That is not real.
referring
And on
to
top
them
of that,
as
Nate,
he or she when they just can't stand to hear those terms. Yeah, they have. That's what I was referring to. I'm not
That's-
saying it's some.
listen.
Know.
If you, I'm telling you, if I only called you David at your workplace for weeks and weeks and weeks, you would report me
It's
to
not
HR
like
at some
that.
point.
That's a terrible example because
It's
if I
not a
had
terrible
been,
example.
it's more like
It's not
I'd
a terrible
been David,
example.
I'd been David, and you'd known me for 30 years. I was David,
What?
and then one day I'm like, I'm
We're
Denise
talking about a
know
now,
random
this?
ass
and now if you
coworker.
call me
What are
David,
you
I'm gonna
talking
get
But no,
about?
fucking
he needs space to be transphobic. He needs space to be transphobic. Why in the world do you think that it takes something away from you that someone has a different preference? If you went to work every single day and you said, my name is Nathaniel, and then one day you said, actually, I think I prefer Nate, you would be able to tell me, hey, I think I want to go by Nate now. And I would just go, wonderful. Okay, great, Nate. And I would move on with my life. I wouldn't think about it ever fucking again. You all
just-
are
Okay.
obsessed with trans people. You think about them more than anyone in the fucking world. And they're like 1% of our population. Why do you think that it takes something
They've
away
gotten a
from
lot of
you?
coverage
It
as
takes
of lately.
the reason
Yeah,
they get
because
coverage
of
is because you're trying to take rights away from them. Leave them the fuck alone.
What rights is anyone trying to take? Yeah, no, that's the
all they
what
want
we're saying
is for
like,
you to
we
leave
don't
them
care.
alone.
No,
Literally,
they
you're saying you-
don't. No, they don't.
Nate, why did transgender people get their license taken away recently in a
Right.
specific state?
They're getting their licenses taken away. They're having their
Because they're-
genders changed, forcibly changed on their passports. So when someone who looks and is representing as a man and has female on their fucking passport, they are now putting themselves in a place of danger for your fucking comfort,
Yeah,
Nate,
that
so
could
that
be
you
used
feel comfortable.
for fraudulent activity. It's
What
a
fraudulent
What the fuck are
activity?
you
What are
talking
you
about?
talking about?
What
it's a
fraudulent
security
activity?
issue. Yeah.
It's not a
What fraudulent
you know what's a
activity
security
could
issue?
they do by
You
being
know what's a security
different
issue?
gender?
If someone who is representing physically, if I look at a person and they look like a woman and then on their passport it says male, that's more of a security issue to me. Because now what have you done? This is confusing.
That's
This person
what
is
we're talking about.
no. What you are talking about is changing the way that people live their life for your comfort only. It is not a security issue. And I know it's not a security issue because you literally cannot think of any circumstance where it's a security issue. What the fuck does that even mean? And also, trans people are not the ones who are primarily causing violence in this country by a fucking long
Okay,
shot.
yeah.
By a long
that's
shot.
just because there's only a small number of them, but proportionally they do.
No,
more
that is
violence.
not
I just-
true. That
I
is
just
not
think it-
true.
I
Oh
just
my
think it
fucking
speaks-
Yeah,
god!
they're way more
I
likely
just think
to
Stop
be
watching Newsmax. Stop getting your.
shooters and
Stop getting your. No,
gun
that's
violence,
just
yeah.
not true. Nate, are you
Yeah,
fucking
it is.
stupid for
Per
real?
capita, yeah.
Nate,
No,
I
it's
just,
not.
Nate,
Per
I
capita.
just-
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it
Nate,
is.
I just want to say,
Oh my
it
God.
does.
I'm so angry. Okay,
Nate,
no, I'm dropping him now. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And guess what? Fuck you. You. Oh my god, that was
mean, retweet.
infuriating. That was infuriating. How?
I think
how? Oh my god,
I
sorry.
think it just I just think it speaks volumes whenever they do this thing of like, when we bring up Christian nationalism and they say, well, you guys are trying to take away our rights, and I'm like, so what? And his example is, I can't bully people at work.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry you can't bully people at work. Also, you must have the intelligence of a fucking pea sprout that when someone says, hey, I would prefer that you refer to me as she, her. Oh no. What are we
I
gonna
know,
do?
the whole world's
I hope you're
falling
okay.
apart.
Are you fucking stupid? Yes. The answer is yes. You are also falling prey to the most insane, most basic propaganda in the fucking world. Are you joking? It just makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
Because it's unreasonable.
No, truly, it is so unreasonable. It really is. Oh my God, that was making me so mad. And the second that he imitated me,
is that what he was doing? I didn't even know what was happening.
Oh my God. And then I was like, oh, I'm dropping you. I don't want to do this anymore. You suck. Now you're disrespectful and I don't want to do this anymore. That's crazy. Stop getting, this is a PSA to anyone who is ever going to call us. Stop getting your news from Newsmax. Stop getting your news from Facebook posts. Stop getting your news from Fox News. They are lying to you. And they make you look like fucking idiots when you call in and you say that per capita, trans people are causing violence the most out of any demographic. That is the stupidest, most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. You sound like an idiot. You sound like an idiot. Oh my God. Makes me so mad.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Anyway.
Oh, I was gonna say, when you weren't here, I hung up on people like twice. So maybe you'd be proud of me.
Wow. Yay.
Good times.
I'm sorry that you were put in a position where you had to do that, but I'm glad that you felt, you know,
it was good. It was good.
Empowered to do it because it's just so crazy. Okay, Bonnie is barking at me like crazy and she will not relax. So I know this is so annoying, but I'm gonna just take her outside because I don't know what she's doing and I think she's gonna like shit all over the place. I don't know if you want to start a call.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be like 5 minutes. So I'm really sorry, y'all. She's being a little bit crazy. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring in Kevin from Canada. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
how are you
Taylor,
doing?
what's up? I'm
Not
doing
much.
good.
What do you want to talk about?
How are you today? Before
I'm doing good.
I answer.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. The topic. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. There's a lag. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So what I want to speak about today, it's not on the topic. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you mind if I wait for Alyssa to come, or do I just get straight in the topic?
Just get straight in the topic, and then we'll catch Alyssa up whenever we'll give her the short version when she comes back.
Yeah, sure. How much time do you have? I don't want to take up both of your time. I know that I came in late, so.
You got
You started around 7 o'clock.
You got a chunk of time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So this topic is a sensitive topic, so I'm not quite sure if I'm able to defend it or just
you can try.
Get straight in the facts about it, but I'll try. The topic that I want to speak about is why Jesus Christ doesn't intervene when a mother abuses her daughter to death and why he gave us free will. That's the topic I want to talk about.
Okay.
The reason why he doesn't intervene, because if Jesus Christ came down from heaven to stop, one abuse, right, out of everything, we would all be controlling robots and we would not do nothing on earth. He would be a dictator. So that's why he doesn't intervene when the mother beats her daughter to death. I know it sounds bad. Like, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's right, but he can't intervene, because if he did, then we would have no free will.
Okay, so what
So
about
yeah,
my question is my question is why is the free will of the abusive mother more important than the free will of the child because she's taking away the free will of the child?
um, um, like it's because that like you're asking why he doesn't stop it, right? Um, I think
I'm
it's
y-
because
I'm
he doesn't
I'm
like
specifically
that
asking why the free will of the mother, the abusive mother, is more important than the free will of the child because she's taking away the free will of the child. So why doesn't that matter?
because I think Jesus wants that child in heaven where she won't be harmed ever again.
So
So
Jesus wants the abuse to happen.
no, he didn't want it to happen. It breaks his heart that it happened, but he's not going to intervene, and his angels won't intervene either because he gave everyone free will. Like
Yeah, and I'm
it
asking
is
why the
true
free
that
will
his
of the abusive mother is more important because that's what it's telling us is that he cares more about the free will of the abusive mother than the child that she's taking the free will from.
um like um it's hard to answer because lately I've been seeing atheists post stuff like this on TikTok, and it just brings me to a question about like why he can't intervene.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course the child's free will is important too. Of course, definitely. It's I just don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. I just know
Um,
that he gave us free will and he won't stop it and he'll never stop it.
if
Even though
you
he's all powerful and all knowing.
if you
Sorry,
were
go
in a
ahead.
if you were in a situation where you saw an adult abusing a child and you could stop it, would you care more about their free will or stopping the abuse?
I would definitely stop the abuse.
Why?
So the child doesn't get hurt.
Why? Why is that more important than the
And
adult's free will?
um because children can't defend themselves and they can't
Okay,
speak for themselves
so you believe that's the right thing, right?
to protect the child. Yes.
You believe that's the objectively right thing to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So why wouldn't God do the objectively right thing?
Um, to be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, he makes the rules, so I
But
don't
isn't he
know, to
supposed
be
to
honest.
always be he's supposed to always be just. He's supposed to always be good.
That's true, yes, because Jesus is God, so I mean, yeah, he could have
Um
stopped at any time, but sorry, go ahead.
I know you wanted Alyssa's take on this too, so Alyssa, I'll catch you up really quick. He was basically explaining why he doesn't believe like God or Jesus should stop an abusive mother from abusing her child to death. And you can explain why, Kevin, again, if
Daughter.
like a really short version, so she's caught up.
Is Alyssa
Hi,
there?
Kevin. Yes, I'm here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the topic that I want to talk about is the reason why Jesus Christ can't intervene and will never intervene, why mother beats her daughter to death or starves her daughter to death, because Jesus gave everyone free will and he's not responsible for anybody's actions, especially if it's an adult's actions, because and the reason why he and his angels will never stop it, because he wants us to use the free will in good things. doesn't want us to abuse it. So when humans abuse the free will that Jesus has gave them, it's on that person. It's not on Jesus. So that's the
I don't
topic I
know.
would like to discuss.
Okay, so I'm not sure what conversation you had already, so forgive me if Taylor already asked you this, but so when somebody is abusing another person, the free will of the abusee, the person who's being abused, is being violated. So at what point does Jesus prioritize the free will of the mom who wants to abuse and potentially end the life of her own child, and deprioritize the free will of the child?
It's a really hard question to answer because I can give one answer to you since I gave Taylor because you weren't here, but I can tell you because if Jesus came down to stop one abuse out of everything in the world, right, we would no longer have free will. He would be a dictator. We won't do nothing on earth because we have to keep following his rules. So if he stops one thing from happening, then we would not do nothing.
Do you believe in miracles, Kevin? Like, do you believe that God grants people's miracles, and if you pray, he will deliver?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that would be interfering with people's free will and their day-to-day life. That little girl could pray every single day that her mother stops beating her, but because the mother has free will to continue to beat her, she can and she might. And so why would God be selective about the prayers that he answers and the prayers that he doesn't? Like, how many times do you hear somebody, think they lost their car keys and then they find them, 5 blocks away on the street, still sitting there waiting for them. They're like, oh, Jesus did that for me. And it's like, okay, if Jesus did that for you, if God did that for you, and then Jesus is like, well, we have to draw the line somewhere with free will, and we're going to draw the line at abuse. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, and also I want to also answer you that God and his son Jesus Christ wants that girl in heaven with them where she won't be harmed ever again because it's where she will spend eternity with them, so she won't be hurt or damaged or be in pain, and she'll forever be happy in eternity with Jesus and his Father.
So but then why don't you
that they won't stop it?
Why? So I always think that's interesting when people talk about that because, well, 2 reasons. One, if God is the creator of the universe, he's the creator of like all of the rules of the universe, like for instance, childbirth being very painful. Like if that's part of like the set of rules that he set, yes. Why would he make the rules include some people who are babies are going to only know suffering in this life? What is the reason for that? Why would that be better? And then my other question, and I can remind you of them if you feel like you want to answer them separately. My other question is,
go ahead.
At that point, how, if the moment that you become a devout Christian, why not just kill yourself?
What do you mean by that?
If your entire purpose and goal and what you're looking forward to is what happens after, why not just end it?
God doesn't want us to end our lives, though. He wants us. Sorry, go ahead.
He said he wants us in heaven.
He wants you in heaven, does he not?
Yeah, but I'm talking about children, though. Little children.
So he only wants children in heaven?
And there are children who commit suicide, by the way. So that's still an option available to them
No.
if they believe that that is a better path for them.
No, I'm talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about like 5 or 6 or 7-year-old kids. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but you, Kevin, believe that heaven will be better than anything on this earth. So why are you still here?
Yes, ma'am.
Why wait?
I think Jesus. I think Jesus wants us to keep living. He doesn't want to send our lives because it's only up to him. Because again,
it's not-
he makes the rules.
But it's not only up
So
to
he
him, right?
decides.
But it's not only up to him, right? Because you're saying he's giving the mother an option to, and like he gives people options to end other people's lives. So it's not up to him, right? You just told us that he has like nothing to do with it, that it's not his fault.
Yes.
So which is it?
I also am wondering, Kevin, can I assume that you are morally against abortion?
Yes.
Okay. So why do you feel morally against a mother voiding a pregnancy of a life that doesn't exist yet, but when she does it when the child is alive, that was her exercising her free will, and you know what has to be has to be. Which, by the way, is in my opinion a cruel way to have your creations exist on this earth. So like, many times we have these conversations with people and they'll say, you know, if I gave you proof, undeniable proof that God exists, would you believe that God exists? And me and other hosts on this show have said, yes, but then you'd have to convince me that he's a good person, and I don't think he's a good person, based on you know the details of this conversation here. Why would you create beings to suffer when you didn't have to? You actually didn't have to do that at all. Childbirth didn't have to be painful. You decided that it was going to be. People don't have to abuse other people. You decided that that was going to be the case. But abortion is not okay for a being that doesn't exist yet. Doesn't have a life, doesn't have goals, doesn't feel pain. That is not okay. But this mother who is going to make her child a living hell every single day of her life, that's okay, because that daughter one day, once she has lived an excruciating life, unpacking what the one person who was supposed to protect her, the one person who was supposed to be safe and reliable, was not, and was abusive instead. That little girl's life is going to be infinitely harder, but that is fine because it's free will.
I also have a question, Kevin. If when we have laws around, you know, not murdering people or that mother not murdering her child, are we taking away their free will because there's like we have laws that you're saying you can't do that?
Yeah, because child abuse is against the law.
I know that it is. I'm saying, why are you okay with us making laws surrounding that if you think they should just be able to make that choice? And we shouldn't stop them.
Can I explain 3 things to so you guys can understand?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I explain 3 things? And, yeah, I'll try to explain it and cut me off if I'm wrong. So like, here's the thing, okay? The mother has responsibility to take care of her daughter, to provide for her, and to give her life. And she's taking advantage of that free will to abuse and starve and beat her daughter to death, and that's on her. So when she gets life in prison for that crime, that's on her. So therefore, Jesus is not responsible for that, because he wants that woman to be a great mother, but she failed.
Can I stop you really quick?
Who's really that?
I wanna ask something. I want to ask something in relation to this because you said God's the only one who gets to decide when people die. Didn't you say that earlier?
I did.
Okay, so how does that fit in here?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It's yeah. So yeah, and that was her choice. So who's at blame here? Did Jesus tell her to go abuse her daughter? No, he didn't. He didn't say, "Oh, go
Well,
beat that child,
do
go
you
drug
be-
that child." No,
do you believe
that's on
that
her.
do you believe that God has a plan for you?
Yes.
So why would he make the plan of this woman to be an abusive, horrible person if he knew that that was her plan? And why would he allow that person to have a child knowing that the ultimate plan would be a life of suffering for that child? And, to boot, again, now you have to convince me that this God is a good person because he decided that, and I also am confused about like, where does the line of God created this plan and this illusion of free will that you think you have? Because if God created the plan, then you actually don't have free will. You're just you're playing into this plan that he already made for you like a little puppet.
I guess so. But you
So
have
then-
to understand that the devil is the one causing evil all over this world.
But
So
you just said
that's another
we
thing.
have.
Isn't
That's
that
our- I
convenient
thought-
though?
Like, if it's the devil, then how is it us making choices with our free will? If everything bad that's happening is the devil, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
And that still doesn't change that the plan, as someone in chat phrased, this was not that he allows this woman to be abusive. He planned it. He planned it. So he's still knowing, let's say, going with the idea that the devil tempts this woman, seeing this woman's life and the trajectory of her life, he still planned to drop this little sim onto the earth, knowing that her impact would be violent and that she would create a life of suffering for her child. Does that sound like an ethical, good
But
God to you?
No, because Jesus didn't plan it though. He
So God
plans
doesn't have
for
a
good
God
things,
doesn't
not
have a
evil
plan.
things.
So God doesn't have a plan for us then.
No, he does.
When things go wrong in your life, I would assume that at some point you would say to yourself, well, everything happens for a reason. God has a plan, which means that his plan includes when things go wrong. Or maybe he's not that powerful, and maybe the devil is more powerful than God.
Kevin, I also have a
And
question.
Jesus know.
Okay, well,
Sorry,
what you're
go
describing
ahead,
to
go
me
ahead.
is that he is, because you're saying, well, you have to remember that the devil exists. Okay, but why is the devil more powerful than God, especially if God created and planned the trajectory of this person's life?
I have no idea, to be honest, because
I respect that answer.
I don't make. Sorry, what were you saying, Taylor? You were asking something, so I can answer your question.
So you were basically saying, like, so the mom abusing the child or whatever, God has nothing to do with it. It was all her, blah, blah, blah. If you had a friend who said they knew a child was being abused and you said, hey, dude, why didn't you do anything about it? And they were like, well, it's all my fault. Like, that's all her. Like, I had nothing to do with it. Would you accept that, or would you think they're a terrible person?
They're a terrible person because they were there. and watched it
Right.
happen.
So why are we holding humans to a higher standard than a god that can literally do anything? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's the question I keep asking myself. I should really do research on that because Jesus is the one who makes all the rules. So I mean, yeah, but do you two believe that it's the best thing that girl, that tiny girl, is in heaven where she won't be harmed with Jesus?
I
Do you
don't
think it's a
believe
good
that
thing?
heaven. I
Or
don't
she
believe
won't
that
have
heaven
to?
is real, and we don't have proof that it's real. So it doesn't make sense
If-
to me
if-
to give this person false hope. If every single day of her life could have been easier and less painful than it was based on the promise of something that we don't know exists, that makes no sense to me.
I would also be
Even
very
if, oh, sorry.
I would be very disturbed if like all of that was the case and for some reason that child had to be born and go through all that suffering. Why do all of that? That like it was for like there's no point.
Yeah, but even you two don't believe that. But even if you two don't believe in heaven, right? But in your opinion, but you two don't think it's a good thing at all.
I don't
You
think it's
don't think
real.
What's a good thing?
You know?
I don't think it's real.
Yeah. But even if you don't
So-
think it's real, but you don't think it's the best thing.
Well, no, because it's the same thing as me saying to you, Kevin, like I believe that after we die, we go to this other planet. Our souls get astral projected out into another being on another planet, and we live in this utopia world, and there are rivers of apple juice and trees that are cotton candy. You'd be like, okay, well, like that's
Yeah.
obviously not true. And I don't, and if I said to you, well, if I shoot you right now, you get to go there, you'd be like, well, I don't think that's real. So it doesn't matter to me that you think that that's true. I don't want to die and find out that that's not true. It's the same thing. I don't believe that it's real. I don't think that a life of suffering makes sense for something that we don't know to be true. And it also is confusing to me because many times people in religions will say that Jesus suffered and died for us, but then so many human beings suffer for
Even
him.
worse.
Yeah, they suffer and they die for him, and we don't make a martyr out of those people. We make a martyr out of this one who was sent down as a little science experiment. They knew that he was going to, like, that's not even a sacrifice to me because God sent him down knowing that he was a divine being, that he would rise
Not
again.
even actually die.
Yeah, that he wouldn't even actually die.
Yes. I see your point. I have one more question to ask before you, because I know that you two got other callers. So I don't want to take up much of your time. May I ask two more questions before I go?
Sure.
So now I know. So now I know every atheist is different. Like they're not all the same. But like, why do some atheists why do they get? Because even if they don't believe that Jesus is real, why do they blame him whenever evil, abuse of children, or anything that is happening in the world? Why is the blame always on him? He didn't cause it.
Typically, when you hear those arguments, they're hypotheticals. I don't like if an atheist is an atheist, they don't actually believe God exists. So if you hear an atheist saying like God is evil, why would he let this happen? They're participating in a hypothetical with Christians.
Yeah, like when
Yeah,
and we're
Go ahead.
more interested in like holding those, like, unless I'm having a conversation with someone who is Christian and we're debating it, like Taylor said, like, you're bringing the context of God to me. But in my day-to-day life, if I hear of something terrible that happens, it's not even a flash in the pan of my thoughts that God did that, because I don't believe God is real. I don't think about God or Jesus literally ever until we have these conversations and someone is proposing a question and we're doing this. What I do think of is, God, I hope that they are held accountable. I hope that they're held accountable. I hope we find them. I hope the law does the thing that it's meant to do. But I don't think about God. And
Yeah.
it's very liberating,
And
honestly.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that, but atheists have to understand that I know it can be frustrating when they get like when they call Jesus evil for not intervening, for not stopping it. But like I said before at the beginning, he gave everyone free will and he won't stop it. And if he stopped one thing, we would all be robots and be controlled. So that's what atheists need to understand about that, even if they don't believe. But yeah.
But Kevin, why are you saying that atheists need to understand that when you couldn't even articulate why, like, any of that makes sense? Like, we just had a whole conversation about it, and you like said multiple times, like, I don't know. So it seems like you don't have like a strong answer for it. So I'm not sure why you would expect other people to accept it.
I'm not saying they should accept it, but that's what I.
People question it because it doesn't make sense.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say people question it because it doesn't make sense. So when like we get preached at all the time about how God is so good, we're going to question things like that. That's always going to be questioned because we have yet to hear an answer that makes any sense for that at all, especially when you're holding humans to a higher standard than God, when you're saying, well, I think the objectively right thing to do as a human is to stop it, but you don't hold God to that same standard. And then you also can't explain why we should care more about the abuser's free will than the child's free will, and why that suffering even had to happen in the first place.
Yes, I totally understand your point and your point too, Alyssa. So I'll let you get to it, but I'm gonna do more research, and thanks for having me. And I'll keep thinking more about this subject. I know it was sensitive, but yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. So take care.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
I really appreciate I appreciate a couple of things about Kevin. First, he was able to say, I don't have an answer to that. And I really appreciate when people do that because that's honest.
Right.
And it's something for him to think about. Second, he was respectful throughout the whole call. And I know I said it every time when someone is respectful, but it really annoys me when people talk about the calls that we take on the line, like every single time we're just like yelling at people. And it's like, no, we don't do that unless the person who called in is being disrespectful, and then we hold our ground.
And I think it is worth noting when people can talk about this stuff without getting worked up, because a lot of times people are not like our last caller and let their ego get a hold of them, and like they won't concede anything at all because they think it makes them look weak or whatever, instead of having an honest conversation. And I think it takes a lot to have an honest conversation whenever your entire identity is wrapped around the belief system. And I feel like I see that with Kevin because I can see that he wants to hang on to it, but he doesn't know why he's hanging on to it. And for a lot of people who have deconstructed, they've been there where they're like, I want to keep believing in this thing and I want to keep believing God is good, but I don't even know why he's good anymore. And I don't even know how to explain he's good anymore. And I just really feel like that's part of the deconstruction process, is realizing that you can't justify things anymore because you can't make sense as to why it's right. So yeah, it's kind of like seeing that in real time.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, 100%. It's really interesting. I'm curious to see if he does like look into this and like whatever
Yeah.
research means to him, which I'm especially interested to hear if like he asks a faith leader of some kind, and what their answer would be, because this is also a conversation that I have with my mother, by the way, and she has a similar thing where she's like, I don't really have an answer for that, and for her, you know, she's able to somehow, I don't know, reconcile that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the shitty part about religion is like, because I have people in my life like that too, where it's like an acceptable thing to just say it's beyond our understanding.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you don't have to answer any of the hard questions, which I feel like that's normally a turning point for people where they either accept that or they don't. They either say, okay, I'm okay with like just steering clear of all the hard questions, or they're like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I feel like that's typically a make it or break it thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. I hope Kevin calls back and has more to share with us, because in the chat, I love when in the chat everyone's like, maybe go on recovering from religion.
Yeah.
.org. I don't know. Maybe check it out.
Yeah, and Kevin, if you're listening and you do like more research or more thinking about it, call us back and talk to us about it and tell us
what you find.
if anything has changed.
Yeah. Okay, we have one more call and we'll get through that pretty quickly and then we'll read super chats. So if you would like to send us a super chat of $5 or more, we will be reading them in just a couple of minutes. And I don't want to yap too much because we don't have a ton of time left. Well, actually, I guess we're a little more flexible today. But all right, let's pull in Rory, who very patiently waited in New Zealand. Hi, Rory.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's all right. I won't probably take up too much time. I have called in once before, and it was very good experience by calling the last time, so it encourages me to call back again.
Cool.
There we go. So my point was just regarding the original question, actually, which seems like a while ago, but why the focus on Christian roles with men and women? Because basically it's an awful lot older in terms of other religions, in terms of like, I think, roles across society than just what Christianity has said about them. So I'm not entirely sure, even when he talks about things like Adam and Eve, that we're talking about roles that weren't probably borrowed from some of the religious viewpoint anyway. Is it like gender? Is it not like something without going, too psychological, like Jordan Peterson or something? Is it not something that's just inherent with us, where we're talking about like male and female sort of archetypes? That's just something within us that religion then kind of like just adapts and turns into its own stories. That's my question.
Yeah, I've also never kind of made the statement that like religion or Christianity created those systems specifically, or even sexism or whatever. I just think that religion and Christianity is used to uphold things and stop our growth when it comes to like gender equality and stuff like that. Like, I mean, in the United States, you see it used to stop progression. So I think a big reason we're focused on that is because it's used as a tool to keep us, where we were thousands of years ago. And a lot of us want to move past that because we don't, let's say that like certain rules even worked at a certain point in time, like the world progresses, what's important progresses, like what society needs progresses. So I think, a lot of people who do want to progress, they're frustrated at religion specifically because people use it as a way to point at, like a thing to point at, to be like, this is what God wants us to be like, so we shouldn't change. And I think that's why we focus on it.
Yeah,
I agree. I was just allowing Alyssa as well if she wanted to say something. But
yeah, I agree. I think the reason, like, when we make things like the title of the show being "Why Would Women Want Biblical Gender Roles?" it's to bring that conversation to the table, because that is directly affecting our government and our systems here. But I think that when I think about gender roles, like as you were describing the topic and the question, I was thinking about how, and this is based off of my like elementary school recollection. So chat, forgive me if I'm not completely accurate, but I think about how there were civilizations that had like sort of the hunter-gatherer balance, and the women stayed home because they took care of children and because their bodies were valuable in a different way because they could hold and carry children. So it didn't make sense to put them into harm's way. And so I think that some of it is like it was almost like a natural evolution that we, at some point, they figured that that made most sense for the sake of humanity continuing to protect the child rearing folks. And then I think it just kind of evolved. I think even when you look at the way that, at least in the US, there's this like manufactured propaganda nostalgia of the 50s and the 60s. Really more so the 50s, I guess. That is like completely manufactured to continue to keep women in a suppressed place. But I think, I don't know. I'm sort of like sorting through my thoughts about it now. But there were other civilizations that were able to have matriarchies that, had a completely different vibe. Vibe is not the right word, but I can't think of another word.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to allow people to finish their points. So, I do think that like America has got a particular problem at the moment that is probably using religion as a stick to beat everything else with, and saying this is the way that we're doing it. But it is essentially just an extreme form of conservatism that happens to associate itself with religious viewpoints in often an incorrect way. And I think historically, if you're looking at the Christian church, I think it has always done that too. If you look at Catholicism, the spread of it, what they were doing was basically quashing any versions of heretic. And actually, a lot of those heretical groups, if you actually look at them, they're a lot more egalitarian in terms of like the male-female balance. They had female priests, for example, in certain sects. But those sort of things got quashed out because essentially, I think the Christian movement was paternalistic. It was like trying to have men as the forefront. And I also look like I'm from New Zealand, and we gave women the vote, I think historically just by accident. But the people that came over here were very God-fearing. But I mean, they passed laws because it was a smaller culture, I think. We've got less people over here. And even though that they were very Christian in their attitudes, they actually ended up being more egalitarian. We passed the laws, I think, from 1893 or something, which was before other countries did. So I don't necessarily think that the roles are inherently sexist with Christianity, but I do think people use Christianity and other religions like a stick to beat the society with, rather than the other way around, if that makes sense.
I believe that Christianity is like the religion itself is sexist, but I also think it's a product of its time, where like kind of what Alyssa said, where we hadn't evolved to where we are now. So, but yeah, that's just my only issue is they're not. It seems like people use religion to not let evolution take its course with societies that want to move past certain time periods.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, this isn't more of an open question just for people to think about, really. But sometimes I think that we have sort of like a conflation between religious views and just general paternalistic views and everything that is negative about those things. And sometimes it's difficult to have a debate, particularly America. I think I only get it secondhand, but it just seems that the debate with Christianity is sometimes just so toxic that you can't actually have any sort of debate about like what's spiritual or not, because it's just wrapped up in things that are just inherently sexist or bad in other ways. And it's difficult. I'm sure you appreciate that probably more than I do, because you deal with it firsthand. But it's difficult to make sense of a question like you originally asked without like having to deal with all the baggage that people that have already called in the show tonight seem to always bring in with them.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's just an outside perspective from me. That's all.
Yeah. I would definitely say the Christian culture in the United States is extremely toxic, because it's also so wrapped up in our politics and what they want to like force upon other people. So yeah, it's definitely intense.
I think also part of the reason why, well, there's like two pieces to it. I think culturally, Americans are not so susceptible to being in conversations that have nuance, and where a part of what they're sharing might not be right. Like I feel like, I don't know if it's American specifically or if it's just everywhere. But I can say from my experience with Americans that it is so hard to have a person, to be in conversation with a person and actually do exactly what Kevin did on the call and say, I don't have an answer to that. That's a good question. I'm going to look it up. Like, that is not in the fabric of the way that we communicate with each other. It's just always like,
it's a very tense time right now.
Yeah, and people's egos are so susceptible to being harmed, and then it like becomes very intense very quickly. And then I also think a part of it is when people are getting questioned on their religion, the answers to the question, unless you're just going to say, well, I have faith, if you're trying to give me a real answer, a lot of the times you can't, and so that's it's interesting, because sometimes I think about like the work that we do on the line and how like Matt Dillahunty has done this for a long time. Jimmy was doing this before he started this whole like little network of us. And there are people there are atheists who have been having these conversations for decades. And if a person could prove that God exists, this would all be kaput. It would all be done. And there's so many times where people call in and they say, I have irrefutable proof. I will prove to you that God exists. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure you are the person who, after decades of atheists who have been having this conversation and thinking about this topic, and debating with tons of people just like you random person who is calling in the show, you're going to have the answer. It's like, it just feels so silly to me. So all that to say, I think the conversations that people have around religion are so heated because, and I don't want to make it sound like it feels very like kind of shitty to be like, the reason why these conversations get heated is because we're right and there is no proof. But like, that is kind of what it is. There is no real proof. And so I think that when people are confronted with that truth, then it's like, okay, well, you've challenged my entire belief system and the thing that I've like built my whole life on. And so, yeah, like I'm going to get really heated about that, because that's really serious. What we've done, the question that we've asked them took apart the entire system. So yeah, like they just get really heated. And in that sense, I do get it, because that's got to be, I mean, we've all deconstructed in some way and had to like reckon with that in one way or another. But to do it on a phone call with people watching that's tough.
Yes. Yep. This is definitely embarrassing to me.
No.
Yeah, but I do agree with that. I think America, the problem in America, we've got plenty of bigots in New Zealand. We've got plenty of people that have extreme points of view in New Zealand, just as probably as many. I know I've been to America. I've met Americans. You are speaking very cogently and educatedly. There's plenty of good Americans out there, but I think the system that you've got there at the moment, it politically is letting you down somehow. And somebody, whoever gets into the power, has to look at possibly reforming it in some way. Because the situation, I think, is just over there is just, it's a little bit scary for everybody else in the rest of the world, I think. And I mean, in terms of like where it's standing, I had friends in South Africa during apartheid, and whenever you had a debate about like, you know, apartheid is evil, I mean, it's not like anything else, it's actually evil. It's immediately offensive because they think that you're criticizing themselves and their family, that, you know, their whole culture. And that's where I think it needs to break down. If you always have those camps and everything is associated, whether it's religious belief, whether it's conservatives, you know, versus liberals, if you always have those camps, it's impossible to bridge and have a debate with somebody else without already seemingly offending somebody else, because everything's associated with being in that camp or not. And yeah, I think that's a political failing in America currently. It's not the people. The people are good. People are the same as everywhere else. And that's, you know, hopefully we'll resolve it in the near future. But
we're in the trenches.
Yeah, I think. Yes. I'm sure you'll get through. I support you. You keep doing the show that you're doing, and the people will understand.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, from your lips to the imaginary god's ears, I tell you.
Yes. But that's all good. I think I've done my bit. You might be tired for the end of the show anyway, but I like I say, I appreciate it. I've had 2 good calls now, so I'll probably do it again at some point.
Yay.
Thanks for calling.
We'll be happy to hear from you again. Yeah, thank you for calling, and thank you for being very patient on hold. We really appreciate that.
Okay, that's all good. Thank you.
Bye, Rory.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was nice.
That wasn't too bad.
A nice chill way to end the show. Only one call where I yelled. So but
it's okay. We got to have at least one of those, right?
I know. I didn't think I was going to yell at all today based on how the show, like the call log started. So surprise. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to, before we get to super chats, I want to just read our schedule. Keep in mind though that for the shows that Jimmy is supposed to be hosting, it's a little bit TBD based on how he's feeling.
Keep in mind, rip Jimmy.
Keep in mind, rip Jimmy. Also, I don't remember if we were live when I was saying this, but it's like so Jimmy to be like, I got into I don't know what you guys know and what you don't know. Yeah, I got into an accident. So I might not be working today, but it shouldn't keep me down for more than a day. I'm like, huh?
Maybe we take some time to process.
Right. Please take more than one single day. That's crazy. Anyways, okay, so today's Tuesday. Calling it now is not happening this evening. So you guys are gonna have to find something else to watch. And yeah, so we're gonna end our Tuesday programming with this show. Wednesday, to hang up at 6 p.m. with Matt Dillahunty. I don't know who is co-hosting with him yet, but always a good time. Thursday, TACIS at 2 p.m. with Josie and our very own Luxander. Calling it now at 5 p.m. with Jimmy and Lux, which TBD. And then The Line has a podcast, which is at 8 p.m. Central. And that is myself and Jimmy, which also, I guess, TBD because, well, you know.
Because rip Jimmy.
Because rip Jimmy. Saturday, 5 p.m., the Devangelicals show with Sarah. Sarah LF. What's LF? Sarah?
Losing Faith.
Thank you so much.
Leaving Faith.
Or Leaving Faith. Damn. Okay. That was close.
The closest thing that we have like real proof of God is when Lux comes over the mic. That's the voice of God. Yeah, that's it.
True.
Sunday, right? Sunday, May 31st. Wow, I can't believe that's the end of the month already. The Sunday show at 1 p.m. with Matt and Seth. And then the Sunday show after dark at 7 p.m. with Forrest. And I think that's supposed to be, is that Eric or Erica?
Eric from Skeptics and Scoundrels.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And then there may be a Calling It Now on Sunday, TBD at 4 p.m. We'll see how Jimbo is feeling.
Someone said, "We are Jimmy Snow. We will carry the line."
We need to
are Jimmy Snow. We will carry the line.
Wow. I'm gonna send him a voice note later and tell him that. That's really funny. All right, super chats. Let's do it. $10 from Alice in Dr. Pepper. Let's go, Dream Team. Literally my fave show on the line. Please don't tell TACIS. Everyone is glowing. Hope you get some good calls, but we will see when you read the super chats. Thank you so much.
I'm telling everybody.
I think we got good calls today.
$5 from I don't even know. Almost something. If you haven't gotten Promise's book, Gospel of Lies, already, then you should, because it is fantastic. I would recommend it to anyone deconstructing. I'm excited to read it. Because then I love also having more book recommendations for people who ask it for specifically deconstructing. That'll be perfection.
Mm-hmm. $5 from Alyssa Nguyen. Do you like movies about gladiators? Hashtag non sequitur. Bibble scribble. Hashtag random chat requests. Hashtag surely you can't be serious. I feel like I don't know what just happened. I'm confused.
Neither.
Do I like, I don't know if this is a real question that I'm supposed to be answering. But
sure.
I guess I had an ex who like really liked the Gladiator movie and would say all the time, "Are you not entertained?" And so I feel a little weird about that now. I know.
It was an aight movie. That's how I feel about it.
He was like, "Are you not entertained?" And then like would huff duster. I'm like, okay, so like I don't really know.
What? Wait, what do you mean?
Do you know that people can like cans of compressed air?
That's what I was making sure that's what you meant, because I was shocked.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant, unfortunately. And then be like,
why?
Are you not entertained? And I'm like, okay. So
the answer is, no, I'm not.
The answer is no, I'm not. Thank you so much.
What the fuck? $5 for Melatonin. I started reading yesteryear per Alyssa's recommendation, and it's great. I'm almost done with it. Promise's book arrives today, so that's next up.
Yeah, everyone should read Yesteryear if you want a good like novel situation. It is really good. Big fan.
I just have to say, if you don't have a library card, everybody listening, get a library card, because I just have access to so many audiobooks for free. And sometimes you might have to wait 2 weeks. For some reason, I don't know why they can't just basically make infinite digital copies.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know. It makes me so annoyed.
Yeah, but still, free books. Go to your go to your library. Support your local library. Love you.
Yeah. Agree.
Do it.
And you can also get an app. There's an app called Libby, and you can put your library card into Libby, and then that's
what my
you
friends have.
Yeah, it's awesome. $10 from Narcissa 800. Alyssa, you've come up with 5 A24 movie concepts. Yeah, with my little video. You know what? What's annoying about that? It would be A24 movie concepts if they weren't based on just like real life that people say that shit all the time. It's too real. Thank you so much.
$5 from Meg801. Alyssa, have you read Wake Up and Open Your Eyes? If not, def check your trigger warning first, but it's wild, so relevant to America today.
I have not read it. I just put it on my TBR, and I have literally a stack of books that I really would like to get through.
Is it fiction like Handmaid's Tale type
That's
shit?
That's why you do the audiobooks. That's the secret. You do the audiobooks. You could do it while you're doing other shit.
I know. You're right. Maybe I'll do that one in an audiobook. I like to read one book and then have an audiobook also going. I like to have a couple of vibes happening.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I'm really imagining you doing them simultaneously, and it's very funny.
Yeah, I pictured that at first too. I'm like, damn, girl, how do you do that? You listen to one and read one at the same damn time? That's crazy.
I would have an anxiety attack.
That's superpowers.
That would be so crazy. $10 for Michael from Oklahoma. Why 7K? I don't know what that means, but Oh, I guess actually that may be the rest of his username. Michael from Oklahoma. Why is it? Okay, well, thank you so much. Anyway.
$5 from Alyssa. Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Hashtag non sequitur. Hashtag random movie quotes. Hashtag airplane. Side note, Andrew is why friends don't let friends fly to New York. Newark.
I saw that chat come through and I was like, you know what? I got to say something about Newark Airport. Newark Airport, if you live in New York City, is actually really easy to get to. Much easier than getting to JFK or LaGuardia. This is such a niche conversation and I'm so sorry. But like going to those other airports that are in bumblefuck Queens and the public transportation is not as good as the public transportation is going to Newark. So I'll just say that. And the flights are cheaper there. So if you are on the metro system in New York, not a bad option.
Good to know.
But, you know. $10 from Michael from Oklahoma Y7K. There he is. Taylor, after watching a lot of Promise and Alyssa, I was skeptical when you came on. You were different. By the end, I saw you were different and just as good. And I love you being mean on bad callers.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You also like really, I remember there was one day when we did chewed gum and you found the dog in you in a way that was like, it was like overnight. I don't know what happened, but I think
you're not talking about when I was like screaming at that person, right? Or no?
I don't know. I just remember, not specifically, but I remember in the beginning of doing shows like this, it's like, especially when you're not like debating people, like who's just like debating people, you know? So
for fun, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are now, but in real life, everyday life. So when you first start doing shows like this, it's like so fucking nerve-wracking because you hope
horrifying.
you hope that you're like saying the right things and whatever. But then you learn as you go, and then all the arguments are kind of the same, and then you really like sink your teeth into it, and it's like a completely different thing. So anyway, I loved when I literally saw like the day that you it was like a butterfly getting its wings.
You guys are so sweet. That's so kind. I have heard people say that about me before, and it makes me feel really good because I am really awkward sometimes, but I'm trying. I'm trying, guys. Every day.
You're killing it. I love when you get mad.
Me too. It's kind of fun sometimes. Depends.
Right? It's a good outlet.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't get mad at all really in my everyday life, but here. We let that shit fly. Yeah.
Is it my turn? Okay. PLN. Wait, what? PLN. Oh, I'm reading it as if it's. Guys, ignore me. $25 something. 25 PLN. Is that?
I'm finding out. Oh, Polish zloty.
Oh, okay. That. Oh God.
It's about $7.
Wow. Cool.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. You both are so nice. I love you guys. Please shout this part. I love you guys. Thank you. That's so sweet. Sorry, I saw that after the fact.
$5 from Mira Featherbender. Metaphor just makes is statements. This blanket is my cocoon of safety. Simile makes is like statements. Your words hit me like a baseball bat. Okay, yes.
Okay.
Now that you say that, like I know that there is the like and is rules. There are the like and is rules. I always just forget which is which.
It's all right. We know what you mean.
But I appreciate the reminder and the flexibility of the chat.
$5 from Never Had a Bidet. Hi, I'm Nate. I'm 32. I'm smart. I logic at a preschool level. Who's Nate again? I don't even remember.
He was the one that we yelled at.
Oh. Then I approve this message. I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking jerk.
I get them mixed up.
$5 from the_Eagle fan. Ban this troll. He didn't research anything. Listen.
$5 from Myra. Is it Myra?
I think Mira.
Mira Featherbender. Taylor, what is the left doing to affect you, Nate? Well, something about PDF files. Chat. What does that affect? Does that affect you, Nate? Yeah, no, deadass. I kind of felt that way whenever he said that, and I was like, Wait,
Yeah.
are you saying you're gonna get less jail time, or like how does this affect you?
I was thinking about it because he said there was some law in California that reduced the sentence of pedophiles, and I was like, that's not true, that's not true. And then afterwards I was like, I do remember there being like a weird law that was trying to be passed. I don't remember the details of it. And
it's also like, I do think it's funny when people like him point to like the most progressive state, and it's like, you probably don't even live there.
Exactly. How does the state of California affect you, Nate?
Yeah.
So ridiculous. $5 from Joshua Everett. Gospel of Lies by our very own Promise has arrived in my hands. When are our other two favorite ladies releasing their books? I need to collect. Listen,
I ain't writing a book anytime soon, I can tell you that. It'd probably be boring too.
I don't think I have anything original to say.
Me, that's what I'm saying. I'd be like, also, I'm at the point where I'm afraid, like, do you ever hear, I mean, I'm sure you have felt this way one way or another, but you hear so much information that you're not even sure if you're taking it from someone else or not. Like, that happens to me a lot. And it kind of made me feel better because Matt Dillahunty the one time was like, yeah, I didn't listen to things because I was afraid that, like, I wouldn't have my own, like, be saying my own things. It's so hard when you're doing content because it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. Yeah.
I would consider writing a book.
Well, I'll consider it, and then I won't. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe one day.
Also, speaking of gender norms, my sweet little cutie butt husband just came in with 2 bags of groceries, and he looked so stinking cute, and I loved it.
Grocery shopping for you? That's like, guys, I swear my house isn't disgusting. There's one fly that keeps going everywhere. Please.
There's always that one fucking fly. $5 from Never Had a Bidet. That's funny. Nate's classmates call him Not See Nate for short. Haha. That's great.
My.
I love it.
$10 from Alma LM. I don't know. Alma I don't know. Here for supporting all trans people.
Yay.
Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. For some reason, it's just really messing with my brain.
$5 from Meg. So, vote to ban Nate from Chewed Gum. Pretty sure this is Nate Billy, and if so, gross. Also, absolute win to Alyssa and Taylor for dealing with him. Thank you so much.
So this is like a person people know. Yeah, I don't know who this person is.
Is he Nate Billy in chat? I'm curious. I don't know.
Oh, I wonder if it's just that he's gone by Billy at previous times that he's called in, or like on the other show or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
It takes a while before we ban people, y'all. I just want y'all to be aware. It takes quite a lot before we will ban someone.
And also, I was about to say, someone could call in and be like completely heinous and then call in 2 weeks later and I wouldn't remember. Like they have to, I feel like I have to talk to him like 5 times before I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you're that head ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
That's really funny. I think this is you.
Oh, my bad. $5 from Space Barbarian. The right now there's an oxymoron. Is it Groucho? Marx? Probably.
I think it's Groucho.
Groucho. This $5 would be wasted on Nate to buy a clue.
Period. Also in chat, they're telling me that in Jovan's shows, he's gone by Billy and Nate. And he's been there a few times. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. $5 from Michael from Oklahoma. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
I'll tell you, anytime I've driven through Oklahoma, it's like the most beautiful, beautiful drive. It's like really...
I've never been there.
Oh my God. I've only gone through it to drive across the country, but it's like huge, very green landscapes. And it's really, really beautiful. It has its problems, obviously, but yeah.
Pretty its problems and its charm.
Yeah. Yes, a little bit of both.
$10 from Melatonin. Friends from grad school called me Allie because a teacher couldn't say Al. Oh, Ali. Ale?
Yeah, like Alessandra, like that.
Oh, okay.
Or Alejandra.
Okay. And it stuck. I started asking to be called... Wait,
Ale.
now what? LA in my late 20s and no one complained.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? That your grade school teachers refused to learn how to
That's
say your
weird.
name. It's fucking rude and honestly like prejudice.
Yeah.
Crazy. $10 from Aaliyah True Silver. Newsflash, he is a dictator because of the whole holding hell over our heads if we don't suck up to him. Also, don't forget the genocides. If he's really omnipotent, omnipotent and how do you say
Omniscient.
Omniscient. Okay. Y'all. No one has free will, etc. Yeah, exactly.
I have to agree.
Can you imagine like being a god who has control over everything and still so badly needing the approval and admiration of your people?
No.
Embarrassing.
No. Sounds, cringe, in my opinion.
Yeah, embarrassing.
$20 from Rory 7590. A Hindu friend of mine broke off an arranged marriage during the ceremony in India and ended up being married to a potted plant. This is when I realized I knew very little about Hindu religion. Christianity is stranger. What? A potted plant. What if the plant dies?
Wild. Right.
Are you a
You're
widow?
a widow.
That's interesting. Never heard of such a thing.
Oh yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts. $5 from Michael from Oklahoma. David, I'm sorry, Nate. I live in Oklahoma and trans rights are being taken away by Christians here amongst many other states. And Solo Taylor, I think that's a thumbs up.
Yay. $5 from Meg801. God allowed her to get pregnant, so yes, he planned and allowed it. Yeah. There's a lot of contradicting things going on there.
$5 from Space Barbarian. I appreciate Kevin's honesty and hope he reflects on his contradictions. Me too.
Fingers crossed.
Me too.
$5 from Weston Campbell. I hope you recover, Jimmy. I hope you have many more years of saying GFY. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Also, hi, host. What a privilege it is listening to my fellow compatriots.
Thanks, Weston Campbell.
Thank you.
$5 from Aaliyah True Silver. Genuinely wishing Kevin has a wonderful day. I really hope he keeps learning, growing, and questioning. Also, hi, Alyssa and Taylor. Hey. Also, again, just further proof of what we say all the time, that if you are not a jerk to us, we're all happy to have you here, including the chat. There's so many chats saying they enjoyed the conversation with Kevin. Isn't that fucking crazy? It makes me so mad that there are people who will call in and be like, you guys don't even want to listen to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, are you being a dick? Because we obviously are happy to listen to you.
And the answer is always yes.
Right, exactly. It makes me so mad.
$5 from C. Gray. Sorry, were you...
No, go ahead.
Off. Okay. $5 from C. Gray. Really enjoyed hearing the conversation with Kevin. Couldn't even remember the caller before him. Good luck to him. Thanks, Alyssa and Taylor. I know sometimes I feel like I have short-term memory loss because we'll have a call and it just like drops from my mind unless it's like something super memorable, unfortunately.
Yeah. Great show this evening. Oh, sorry. 10 Canadian dollars from Puriform 42. Hello. Great show this evening. Thank you both. The yelling was appropriate and cathartic. I'm so glad.
Thank you. $10 from Weston Campbell. The front end of Jimmy's Ram from someone running a red light for anyone that was concerned. I had a high impact force like that and I was so sore for weeks. Also, hi Lux, thanks for producing. I have a deep fear of car accidents. It's so insane, but it makes me like insufferable if someone else is driving, unfortunately. But I'm trying to work on that. But this doesn't help.
Yeah. And you know what? If he sends you the video,
I will not be watching it. I can't because it makes me
It's
But
so
I will say I know I'm dying from a car accident. I know I don't believe in spirituality, but I know I'm manifesting it though. I know that I am. So like when it happens, none of you be shocked because I told y'all. But yeah.
Oh my god, that is fucking hysterical. Oh my god. Ah, $5 from Alice and Dr. Pepper donating so Jimmy can take a minute off, but then you get
Aw.
right back to work. Hashtag grind don't stop. Thank you. That's really nice.
$10 from random.
Just say yeah, they said just say my name is random.
Oh, just say my okay. I was told the women's shows on the line don't get as much support. I like you both, so here's my report. Thank you.
Thanks. It's really nice. And true. What the hell is that about? £5 from Vincent King. We are Jimmy Snow. We'll carry the line. I love it. Rip Jimmy. Hashtag snow never melts. Hashtag treats for Bonnie.
Has that always been a thing? Hashtag snow never melts. That's so funny.
No, but that's amazing. Wait, I need to screenshot that and send that to him right now. That's hysterical.
It is really good.
That is so good.
I like that one.
I love it. And Bonnie is chunky. She doesn't eat any more treats, but she'll be happy you said that.
$10 from Confusion24. Hashtag rip Jimmy. Hashtag snow never melts.
It's so good. $5 from Lena Langdon. If you haven't started Dungeon Crawler Carl, especially the audiobook, are you really a leftist? Rip Jimmy. We are Jimmy Snow. We carry the line. This is so I love this. I love this. I love it. Amazing.
$5 from SJL. All Massachusetts residents can get a Boston Public Library card. I get ebooks and audiobooks that way. Check out your own state. Thanks for the info.
Nice. $9.99 from Forever Unbound. Hi, ladies. Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
$5 from Weston Campbell. Oklahoma is beautiful drive if you like living in awful places. Alyssa, I wouldn't recommend it. More rural Americans are a double-edged sword. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like the main thing I have to offer is that it's a beautiful drive. And that's pretty much it because everything else I hear about Oklahoma is not so good.
Yeah.
$5 from SJL. The Kevin call was so frustrating. He just wasn't getting it, like reading over the shoulder of a slow reader. I hope it eventually sinks in. I mean, yeah, I get it. And also he's like, when you realize the gravity of like what's happening, it's like what we were talking about with the last call with Rory, where you're challenging their entire belief system. And so they'll like hang on to that for dear life until they like really kind of can't, or they stop asking questions. So, you know, I love the Kevin calls because it really, it's so interesting. I also would like you guys to know that I told Jimmy that we should make merch the way that they did when Charlie Kirk died, like immediate turnaround merch.
But nobody make the AI videos of like Jesus coming down from the heavens carrying away like Jimmy from a car accident, dude. Did you see those videos?
No, I don't want to make AIR, but hypothetically, that's really fucking funny.
Did you see the ones people made of like Charlie Kirk when he died? It would be like Jesus coming down from the heavens and like carrying it.
It was so crazy. It was so crazy.
It should have been one of Satan like picking him up and taking him down underground, but
truly. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. I'm so happy to be back. I missed you guys, and we will be back next Tuesday. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for Dragon for screening and Lux for producing and all of the mods in the chat. It was a good one today.
Snow doesn't melt, guys. Remember that.
Hashtag snow doesn't melt.
Even one day when Jimmy does
never
die,
melts.
Wait, what did I say?
Snow doesn't melt. It never melts.
It never melts.
Snow never melts.
We are Jimmy Snow, guys.
We are Jimmy
Carry
Snow.
the line.